You're listening to the Death Rattle Crew, a Hearthstone podcast.
DRC, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Death Rattle Crew, a Hearthstone podcast. This is episode 42. I am one of your hosts, Mike Tech2 Hearn, joined by first the legend formerly known as Jeremy. Hello, Jeremy.
What is up? I'm back.
He is back. Bradford
Hello.
Lee.
What's up?
And Matt Mushu Hill.
Good evening.
It's morning for you, isn't it?
Yes, it's 8 o'clock in the morning, which was a nice surprise to me.
I
wake up, I thought I was going to be late, dude. I woke up at like 7:05. I was like, oh my God, what we're doing. And then Brad's like, nah, dude, you're an hour early. I was like, excellent. It's time for breakfast.
So we didn't wake you up then?
No, I woke me up.
Okay.
And then was on time for DRC. Or it was all planned.
Perfect. Well,
I sort of just...
Why don't you begin? How's the last week go?
The last week has been it's been a good week, I think. I was there for most of it, I believe.
Yeah.
I know. I've recently hit the big person grind of work, sleep, repeat kind of thing, and it's been interesting.
Nice.
It's, I don't know. I can't remember what I've done this last week. It's short-term memory loss, Mike. It's like I know I played the first week of League of Explorers. I know I went to work a few times. I know I played a bit of WoW, but yeah, nothing like really stands out. Nothing like noteworthy has happened in the past week for me.
Okay. All right.
That's it. Yeah.
All right.
Play week.
Well, let's go backwards in the reverse order. Bradford Lee, how about
Something amazing has happened to me today or this week.
Please.
I played the best game of Hearthstone ever.
Impossible.
It was, I know, right?
This is exciting.
It was awesome. I played a Fatigue. I call it my Fatigue Reno deck with Reno Jackson.
Okay.
And it does have some 2-ofs, so it doesn't always trigger Reno Jackson. Basically, Reno Jackson is for when I'm fatiguing generally. So like when I'm in like the Control Warrior versus Control Warrior like matchups where we're both like fatiguing for like 15 and then I'm like, all right, gain 30 and I gain 2 more turns basically. That's what it's really in that deck for. But I was playing against like a Tempo Mage deck, like a top end Tempo Mage deck, and they had oh my gosh, I can't think of the name of it right now. Ronin, the 7/7 for 8 or whatever that is.
Yeah.
The one that gives you 3 arcane missiles. So he goes Ronin for 1 turn. I deal with the Ronin, I kill it, and he gets his arcane missiles. The next turn is Dr. Boom, and I'm like, oh crap. So I have to like use my 1 piece of removal left to kill it. And the turn after that, he plays Archmage Antonidas and gets he casts all the arcane missiles and gets 3 fireballs in his hand. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, how do I win this game now? He's gonna just fireball me out. Plus, I just got hit for 9, and I couldn't kill the Archmage Antonidas. So I'm like, well, okay, I can buy a turn, and so I bought a turn. And then he goes and fireball, gets 2 more into his hand. And I'm like, well, all right, what do I have to draw? And I rip Alex Strauss off the top. And I'm like, okay, that'll give me another turn. So I Alex myself back up to 15. He puts me to 2 and I have Reno Jackson in hand. And he fireballs me, gets 2 more fireballs into hand. And then I finally kill his Archmage the next turn. So he still has 3 fireballs in hand plus 2 in his deck. And he's used 4 of them on me so far. So a total of 9 fireballs have happened, or potentially 9 fireballs are going to happen.
Jeez.
And I drew my execute off the top, which was the 1 card that I still had a double in my hand. I Reno Jacksoned. I proceeded to get fireballed, frostbolted, then fireballed, frostbolted, and I cast a Shield Maiden. And then I found my Justicar Trueheart off the top after the turn afterwards. And I gained more life to stay out of fireball range. I got fireballed 9 times over like 5 turns and frostbolted twice over that time and won that game somehow. And I still was getting hit by the Archmage Antonidas for 2 turns. It was the most incredible win ever. And I'm making it into a highlight here soon because it was just fan-freaking-tastic. And it made me like, I couldn't stop smiling for the next 2 hours because it was amazing. It was the best game ever.
Now,
I was going to say, I was going to ask if it was on stream.
It was on stream. Luckily.
Perfect.
Yeah, I immediately time-stamped it, and I was like, all right, we're saving this one. This one's amazing. But I haven't had a chance to make it into a highlight yet, but I'm going to put it on my YouTube channel soon. because it was fantastic.
We're gonna talk about that card later, but that was one of the cards that I thought this could be big or it could just completely flop. But I mean, it's already seen play in competitive like tournaments and stuff. So I hope that card becomes or stays something. It sounds like it is becoming something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be relevant for a long time, and it's gonna be decks built around. Like there's obviously a couple of there's like the Super JJ Freeze Mage 5/0 thing that was ridiculous, and then there's a Warlock deck going around that runs Mr. Reno Jackson and tries to fuck people.
Fantastic, Jeremy. How was your week?
It was really good. This store near where I live, about 45 minutes to an hour out, started doing fireside gatherings, and so they had a fireside gathering Sunday night after I'd gotten back into town, and so I decided to drive out. There were about 12 people that showed up, and they had enough people. They decided to run like a little mini tournament. Cool. Just a what's it called? Lose once and you're out.
Single elimination.
What's that called? Yeah, single elimination. Okay. So they did a single elimination tournament that I wound up winning.
Nice.
With mid-range.
Bola. You rich?
Yeah. So mid-range hunter. I had mid-range hunter, mid-range paladin, and the demon zoo lock. And so,
nice.
Surprisingly enough, the deck that I did worst with was hunter. I started off every game with paladin and won most of them, and then swapped over to zoo so that I'd have my hunter deck as my anchor deck. And there was one match where I played a guy, went up 2-0, and then he came all the way back, and I ripped a hunter's mark to end the game. But I was pretty dead in the water the third game with hunter. So it was a lot of fun. They're doing this one was more casual. They're doing another tournament on Sunday that's geared a little bit more competitive. So it's going to be like a $15 entry, and you got to like give them your full deck list before you show up. This one was just like tell them what classes you're playing, but this they're going to actually monitor and so it should be pretty fun. Cool. I'm going to go to that. Basically the last tournament paid for my entry fee into a few more tournaments. So
and it's going to be
I'll show up, see how I do, and
free rolling.
Is it at the same place?
Yeah, it's this little like internet cafe place up near. It's actually near where my wife works. But yeah, so they kind of just started advertising on Facebook that they're doing fireside gatherings. So I was like, oh, I'll go out.
Cool.
Awesome. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, so mid-range hunter's bad, but Pally's good. So that worked out. Nice.
Awesome. All right. Yeah, this week's been busy for me as far as work goes. Let's see. We're going to talk about the first wing of League Explorers. Obviously, by the time this podcast comes out, the next wing will be open, but we can talk about this past week. Some of the guys at work who don't play as much as even I do are they're kind of smoking me a ranks. I'm sitting at 13 right now. That ain't good. I mean, what are we at 18th? I need to start hitting the grind a little bit harder. I got to make it to at least.
Remind me to. I'll tell you something once your story's over about rank 13.
I think that's pretty much it. I'm boring.
Oh no!
What about rank 13?
Don't feel bad. I was.
No.
I'd made it earlier this month. I had made it all the way to rank 10 pretty early. And then I dropped down to 12, and then I sat at 12 for a couple of days. I'd win one, lose one, win one, lose one. I went on a pretty bad losing streak, got down to like 13 and 1 star. And I just haven't played for a few days up until that tournament because I was like, well, this just sucks. I just couldn't make, like, mid-range hunter's just so bad right now. And that's like the only deck that I'm super, super comfortable with on ladder. And I was watching VLPS stream last night for a little bit, and one of the questions that one of the guys asked him is like, okay, so if I wanted to get from 5 to legend as quickly as possible, what deck do I need to be running? And he said Secret Paladin, and I've tried Secret Paladin. I didn't really like it. It just seemed really all in. But he was showing a list that was, the top end one that's got the Tyrion, it's got Dr. Boom. It only runs 4 secrets, only 2 copies. 2 copies of 2 of those secrets, so a total of 6 secrets in the deck. It's just way more geared around, shielded minibot into muster, into piloted shredder and that good stuff. And so I was like, well, I'll put it together and see if I can get a couple of wins out of it, get up to rank 12. I've played 10 games today and I have not lost one yet. That deck is really stupid, which I kind of feel silly having waited this long to play it, but it's a really unfair deck. I don't understand why this deck is stupid. It's real dumb.
I've been noticing that if I don't pull Mysterious Challenger, I get in trouble. It's really hard.
You just mulligan for it. It doesn't even matter.
Oh, is that how it works?
Yeah, I don't
get you mulligan for it and you get it.
I keep it in my opening hand every freaking game. I'll keep it in my opening hand. I'm mulligan for Shielded Minibot and Mysterious Challenger every time.
See, the times you lose with the mid-range Secret Pally is where you either draw too many, because you're playing a lot less secrets. The times you lose are if you ever draw too many secrets early, or if you don't get your Mysterious Challenger and you fail to get that value. That's how you lose. Or if you don't curve out in there's a point where if they contest you for the mid game and you don't curve into your Dr. Boom or your Tyrion, that's when you sort of get a little bit fucked up. That's how you lose. So when that happens, Jeremy, that's when you'll lose the game. But up until that point,
I'm sure that will happen.
It's pretty good.
I'm sure that will happen. But the biggest thing was not feeling like you are the favorite in every game. There's not a bad matchup for Secret Paladin right now, unless Reno, but that's not completely a thing yet. And you're not running into freeze. Yeah, I was going to say you're not running into Freeze Mage at rank 12, so Freeze Mage isn't a thing. So you can really just ride this deck to 5 or whatever. From what I can tell, I'm at rank 8 right now. This deck is really stupid.
It is strong.
It's really dumb.
Why is it?
And
what do you
talk
find
about
most dumb about it? What's the thing that puts it over the edge? That if you were a Blizzard dev, what would you do to make it less dumb?
What grinds the gears, basically?
Yeah,
I would not mess. Here's the thing: is I wouldn't mess with the deck at all. I would bring back Patron Warrior. Because Patron Warrior craps all over Secret Paladin.
No.
So I can't imagine them ever going back on a decision like that.
No. I know that they wouldn't. You asked what I would do. What I would do is stop making decks that are good, bad, and instead let good decks be good decks and bring up other good decks too. So Shaman's really bad. Don't nerf every class until it's as bad as Shaman. Because that's basically what we're headed towards. Blizzard puts out a card and it's really good and it makes a deck good, and then they nerf the card and then the deck's bad again.
I feel
they just keep putting out good cards, and then they decide they don't want those good cards anymore.
I wonder if it's just we don't have enough tools, because I feel like the only tool to deal with Secret Paladin is Hunter Flare. That's kind of it. I mean, because on Mystic's not really a counter to that deck.
Totally agree. It's the fact that there's not enough tools to answer, because that's why the Grim Patron decks were so good. They had enough tools to answer all the threats that they were putting out every single turn.
It's not even necessarily that though, because all right, so Hunter. Let's say I'm facing Hunter. Hunter's already not favored against mid-range Pally. So if they have Flare, you just play the deck like a mid-range Pally. They still have to deal with the 6/6. They still have to deal with Dr. Boom. They still have to deal with Tyrion. They still have to deal with 2 piloted shredders, 2 shielded mini-bots, muster for battle. It's basically if you remember back a couple of weeks ago, what Firebat was saying, it's shielded minibot into Muster, into piloted Shredder, into Sludge Belcher, into Mysterious Challenger, into Dr. Boom, into Tyrion. And like if your deck can deal with that, if your deck can deal with that, because that's going to happen like 20% of the time,
Yeah.
It's oh god, that deck is so stupid.
Yeah, and they're all their threats are just so resilient is one of the biggest issues.
Well, I think the issue is like a decent Mysterious Challenger is so disruptive that you can't prep, you can't deal with Mysterious Challenger, the secrets, and then prep something for like the Dr. Boom turn going into Tyrion, and that's the issue here. Is that I don't know. I think nerf it just seems like such a I think obviously they're going to wait till the end of the League of Explorers and then have some fallout time after that. But then if it's still like kicking ass, I think they'll have a look at Mysterious Challenger. I think they once it hits like the patron threshold of having too much of a win rate, it'll get fucked. That's what we're waiting for here.
Yeah.
For it to reach critical mass.
I don't know. You guys know how I feel about Patron Warrior and even some of the Face Hunter decks and things like that. But I feel like we got tools to deal with it, so I don't mind it. Same thing I talk about like Miracle Rogue all the time. I didn't want that deck to really go away, and it kind of hasn't. I guess Oil Rogue is sort of a Miracle Rogue deck, sort of. But I don't know. I don't want this deck to go away. Does that make sense? Am I making any sense?
Totally. I don't want it to go away either.
Yeah.
So you guys just think that because I talk too much and I'm excited to be back, you can just like disconnect my call.
Yep.
See how it is.
That happened.
We kicked him out and then he came right back in.
No, I don't know where it kicked me out, but the issue with Secret Pally is it has the best on curve drops.
Yeah, it just curves out too perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there's other decks that can do that, those will compete on the same scale of like trying to race in the same way. But I just don't hope. I hope the game doesn't become every deck is trying to curve out as much as possible and race.
Every deck is tempo.
Yes. I mean, that's where we're slowly regressioning towards, because the more cards we print, the better tempo gets, because this game is, I mean, if you look at Arena, tempo is king because tempo is what allows you to maintain board position. And, you know, like the only ways to beat that are something like a Reno Jackson, which is kind of like a combo card, or, you know, like a Grim Patron kill, which is a combo finish. Until you just have to have consistent ways to finish them, to punish them for their decks that only can curve out and just do consistent threats. I don't know.
Well, the way that Magic deals with like tempo decks is, the tempo aggro mid-range decks is combo decks, and Hearthstone has made it very, very clear that they do not want to have combo decks. So any good combo, they just eliminate from the game, and that's going to lead to a spot where it's all just like, all right, how well does this card trade? I can't run this card. How well does this card trade? It trades really good. Okay, so I'm going to run this card. And you don't have any kind of synergy with your deck. You just run whatever the best cards are.
Piloted Shredder is a perfect example of that. Like, there is really no other 4-drops, unless you need something specific for the deck that you're trying to build. But I can agree with that.
I don't know what happened to you on your week off, Jeremy, but you're making some sense, buddy. It's weird, what did you do? I know. He's just
winning fireside gatherings.
I'm winning fireside gatherings.
Intelligence and clarity. He's doing.
I'm ranking up.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Like, my ranks are getting better.
I'm terrified.
I did a super cool Kesha video earlier.
Ah, yes. So that's that'll be.
I can't wait to see that. That's like that's our prize for not sucking last month.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What rank did you get to last month? Where'd you quit?
7. I got 7. I gave up. I bounced back and forth from 7 to 8, but I ended at 8, but at one point I was like 7 and 2 stars.
I think I played most of the combo decks, except I didn't play a lot of Miracle Rogue when it was out. But like I've been playing since closed beta, and so I've dabbled in all of like the one hit kill combos. I think my favorite one was when it was like 20 damage Leroy combo in Warlock, where you go Leroy Jenkins, Power Overwhelming, Faceless Manipulator, so you hit them for 20. That was my favorite one.
Yeah.
And then obviously you had what do we have? We had that, and then there was everything Miracle Rogue. There was Leroy. I remember something with Shaman. It's like you Wind Fury, Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah,
I think Smack dead.
Yeah, what was that? I forget. It wasn't Crusher Shaman, was it?
I don't know. All I know is Leroy Jenkins with Wind Fury seems like a great idea.
You need to be playing the Priest Inner Fire deck, Matt.
That one's fun.
We just
now
like
you get
buff it out of it, and then big boom.
And you play.
Yeah, you have the genie that like whenever you cast a spell, you get it on it too.
Yeah.
So
can do.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. Talk about some new stuff this week. Tavern Brawl. You know how we normally feel about Tavern Brawl, but guys, I really like this week's. This is the type of RNG just madness that I really like. So basically what this week is you get a bunch of random pirate 2/3s in your hand, 2 drops, and every turn you get to discover out of 3 cards and pick one. And that's every turn. What did you guys think?
I like it. It's I just like you were saying, I like the RNG that comes with it. It's basically discover a card each turn, which is really cool. My quick story about it is I got 3 Trade Prince Gallywicks in a row. I was like, all right, keep playing this thing.
Wow.
It was hilarious. But yeah, so like the downside is that you get a deck of 23 2/3s or whatever.
Yeah.
So like Fel Reaver is insane because you don't actually draw anything from your deck in this mode. You just discover, it just like pops up 3 choices each time.
Yeah.
And so you always have the same like 20, what'll be 27 cards or 26 cards if you're on the draw, cards in your deck. And it just has that the whole time. So my opponent played a Fel Reaver and I was like, oh, I'm going to mill him. And then I started doing that for a couple turns and I kept looking at his deck and I was like, wait a minute. He's not drawing cards out of his deck. I was like, oh, this card's just a 5 mana 8/8. Got it. It's really good here. So there's definitely some downsides to it, but it's still really fun.
Yeah. I really liked it. So if you haven't checked it out yet, go check it out. It's good. It's DRC approved, I think. I think could go around.
I'll finally finish my quest that says win 5 Tavern Brawls, because before what I've been doing is I do 1 a week.
I haven't.
There's a quest like that.
I haven't seen that. Yeah. I have not seen that yet.
I've had it for 3 weeks. I've had the same quest.
Wow.
Yeah,
I would just abandon and reroll my quest.
That is exact. I've gotten it twice and I abandoned it both times.
Wow.
Yeah, it's worth 60 though, so I'm like, yeah, I'll just hold it, and eventually I'll get my 60 gold out of it.
Huh. Man.
Dedication. 5 weeks later, 60 gold. Yes.
Right.
Got him. I think that'd be a fantastic quest if you were like running a free-to-play account or something this week.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
oh yeah, absolutely.
This is my favorite time in Tavern Brawl, where it's like a soup where I don't have to build a deck, because that's really what I want in life, is not to build my Tavern Brawl decks, because it just feels like too much of a barrier for entry for me. It's like if I have to think about it, why am I playing this? Why aren't I playing Arena or Rank? That's where my mind sits.
Yep, I agree.
And I queued up just before, and it felt like I was playing against a bot or something. But yeah, I suppose it's to get people attuned with the discover mechanic. Get people caught up and see what's going on.
Yeah,
because I suppose the free to play players wouldn't necessarily know if you're like a super casual player and somehow you missed everything with the League of Explorers. You sort of saw discover. I suppose this is one way to get you into it without having to actually buy the expansion. And if you do enjoy this week's Tavern Brawl, you're like, man, this is cool. Maybe you're more likely to buy the expansion.
Right. All right.
That's true.
So, Tavern Brawl out of the way. Last week we talked about the class cards that are going to be, if they're not already released, will be released in the League of Explorers. But we did not talk about neutral cards coming out or have come out already. So we're going to start where we left off last week and just go straight into all the neutral cards. So boys, you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
First up, and really, I guess it's just all the legendaries. We'll just start with, let's see, Archthief Rafam. Now, Mushu, is that WoW lore? Is he in WoW, or is he?
Well, if he is, he doesn't ring a bell.
Okay, I was trying to think too of all the time I spent.
Archthief.
Yeah.
Well, he looks like. Yeah, no, it doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah, not for me either. So anyway, he's a 7/8 for 9 legend. Legendary card reads Battle Cry, discover a powerful artifact. So before we get into the artifacts, what do we think about I guess the body of the card? Let's do a body check real quick. Check it out.
It's a good BGH target in that it's got 7 attack. We can say that much.
Yeah. Although I have to admit, I haven't seen a lot of BGH lately. What's up with that?
You're playing the game wrong. I don't know.
You're not seeing Druid.
Yeah, that. Yeah. All right. So the artifacts. Now, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but the artifacts are Lantern of Power, Mirror of Doom, and Timepiece of Horror.
Correct.
Okay. So let's go over those real quick. They're all 10 cost spells, basically. First one is give a minion +10/+10. That's Lantern of Power. Mirror of Doom, fill your board with 3/3 mummy zombies. And last Timepiece of Horror, deal 10 damage, randomly split among all enemies. So I'm thinking we have not. Are mummy zombies? Do we have an example of that anywhere? I don't see them.
Well, it's a 3/3.
They're just 3/3s. Yeah.
It's. I think that's what you really need. And
Okay.
I think that's my favorite one. I think is fill your board with the 3/3s.
And I'm guessing Timepiece of Horror is kind of like the Paladin Avenging Wrath.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's
Actually,
how
you
that next too.
2 extra ticks.
Yeah. For quite a bit more mana. Like that's man, I don't know if I like that one.
That's a big cost to pay
Yeah.
10 mana. Like
Just-
you have to play this 7/8 for 9 and then pay 10 mana to do an effect. And
Yeah.
like 10 damage randomly split for 10 mana is not
No.
just doesn't feel like enough.
Like Avenging Wrath is 6 for 8 damage. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking Mirror Doom's probably the way to go.
Yeah, I think you get the most damage out of that because you get like 21 attack damage.
Yeah.
I do like that it gives you options. So like if you are really far behind, you're like, I need this Timepiece of Horror just to try and maybe kill something. Or if
Yeah.
you're really far ahead, you'd be like, okay, take the Lantern of Power. Maybe I'll just win next turn. But I agree. Mirror of Doom seems like the most inherently powerful.
So let's talk about this then. Would you play this or Nefarian?
Nefarian.
That's how I feel too.
Yeah, Nefarian.
That's exactly
Easy.
how I feel. Yeah.
And Nefarian's even good when it's in your hand too. So
Yeah, sure.
being a dragon and all.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think this card's just doomed to always
class
be
cards are inherently powerful. And the spells,
Yeah.
unless you're playing against rogue, you're going to get something useful probably.
Yeah, nothing worse than playing a class that doesn't have weapons and getting like a poison or something.
Yeah.
And I think if this card has Battle Cry, Death Rattle, discover a powerful artifact, do you think it makes it playable?
Oh.
If you get two of these.
I don't know. Like
I still don't think it is.
10 mana.
I think-
That's
Well, I think it gets becomes ridiculous if you get like two board summons of like 3/3 zombies. I mean, I think at that point my intent behind that was like to break the shit out of this card, and I think if it has Battle Cry, Death Rattle, it's probably pretty busted.
The
I think it would be
Death Rattle one
playable in Warrior.
That's what I mean. It's like it's
sure,
really good.
sure.
Like a slow control deck where you creating cards is what you want to do.
I like the Death Rattle effect if you would have it, because it's the time it dies, you'll have 10 mana at that point.
right.
So you can immediately gain its effect, which is kind of nice. I still just don't think even at that, would you want to pay 9 mana for a 7/8? Like that eats your whole entire turn. Even if you are generating cards. I guess in like the slower matchups, it's a great finisher. But in like there's a lot of matchups where I don't want a 9-drop. Like even Alex Straza is kind of hard sometimes on playing in a control deck because the 9 mana it's a whole turn investment. So and it's
I've got it. I know how to immediate. I know how to fix this card. You give it the Ysera effect, where at the end of turn it gives you a powerful artifact.
Oh, that'd be.
You pick one.
Obviously, much better, but I don't know. Like, I feel like the 10 mana cost is just like if you get fill the board mummies every time. Oh yeah, by all means, give me 3/3s all day. I don't know. I don't know.
It's just I don't know. I think even in Arena I don't want this card sometimes because it's just slow. Like, what is this doing? I don't ever want to draw it until turn 9. And it's just I don't know. And like I would rather have I can't even name the name of the card. It's the one that does 4 damage when it enters. North Sea Kraken.
Yeah.
I always think of cards right after I name what they do. But it's always like that. I'm like, it does this. And I'm like, oh wait, that's right. It's this card.
Gives you that little more time for your brain to associate it with what you know about it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's very human, Brad. It's very
human. But it's just, I don't know, just noticing repetitions in the way that my mind thinks, I guess.
That's how your brain works.
Whoa. Mind blown. Yeah, so like I think even a North Sea Kraken that does 4 damage immediately as it enters the battlefield is more powerful than this card in Arena, because I'd rather just have an immediate impact on the game rather than to gain tempo rather than to gain card advantage like this card gives you.
I think you're undervaluing the power of a board of 3/3 mummies in Arena, Betty.
Oh no, I don't think it's not powerful. I think it's incredibly powerful. I just think that in Arena, tempo is so much of a king that if I was in a 9-0 Arena run, I think I'm going to be more likely to have a 9-0 Arena run with an Arc or with a North Sea Kraken than with an Arch Thief.
Okay, I can see what you mean. Like you think it's better in more situations, whereas this is sort of this can be bad if you're playing this into. Yeah, I suppose.
It's just the immediate.
Well, what do you know about Arena, Brad?
Not much. I'm not really good at it. My average win rate has gone down a little, though. I'll admit that. I haven't been kicking as much, but whatever.
So that is Archthief Rafam. Next, Reno Jackson. We've already talked about a little bit. It is a 4/6 for 6. Reads Battle Cry. If your deck contains no more than one of any card, fully heal your hero. Now, my thought is if you have 2 executes in your deck, you pull one, there's one still in your deck, this will proc if that was the only double that you had. Does that make sense? If you have one in your hand and one in the deck, that it still counts, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about this before. I didn't know how I felt about this card. I thought maybe it was just kind of gimmicky, but I also thought, okay, well, if it's as good as I think it is, it's going to be amazing. And so far, we've seen. I mean, you should go on Google and see tournaments, things like that. And obviously, you, Brad, you've had experience with it. This card's pretty legit. I think there are a lot of decks like Freeze Mage was the first thing that came in my head. Freeze Mage, Control Warrior, that could just take advantage of what this card brings to the table.
Warlock.
Yeah.
This card reminds me of Emperor Thorsan, where you see people playing it for a couple of weeks and you think, wow, this is completely busted and stupid. But eventually I think the meta will warp around it and it will not be as busted and stupid as it appears to be. Like, with Super JJ going 5-0 with his Freeze Mage. Especially, that's kind of that outcome is a little bit warped anyway because they were playing Last Hero Standing instead of Conquest, where that can't happen. But I think the card's a lot better than I originally thought it was. I thought the card was just straight bad. Because to make the card work, I assume you have to play a less optimized version of any real decks, but that's not really the way the card's getting used. The way the card's getting used is as a second Alex Straza that can only target you and can only gain life.
Yeah, and with
basically people are putting it in freeze mage, letting their ice block go off, and then like it's very hard for any class really to deal 60 damage, as warrior has proved with never dying to freeze mage.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Super JJ's version, the list I saw, it didn't have ice block. It was kind of terrifying.
Oh, he cut
wow.
ice
Oh,
block
did it not?
entirely.
Wow.
Yeah, like
Okay.
the list I saw on Ghosty Game is like, oh, it's got 6 secrets. I could only see 4, so maybe it was hiding or something. But it looked like it had 2 counter spells and 2 ice barriers, and so that was yeah, it was
Super JJ with the giant testicles.
yeah, to go 5-0
Like, bring
in the C Story finals. I mean, you have to have those big balls.
All the bananas you want, Stannis Sifka. You're not beating me.
He is the fruit master.
Fun fact: Reno Jackson does not light up if his effect's going to go off when you play him.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is true.
This was posted on Reddit earlier this week, and Broad got in there and discussed that it could be done, but it's not something they're actively working on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Right.
maybe sometime down the line when they've got less things to do, maybe. But for the moment, yeah, you have to know when the time is right. And for me, that's when I look at my deck tracker HUD and can check my deck.
Cheater.
Oh, speaking of that, like I don't want to sidetrack us too much.
Do it.
But over the weekend at the tournament that I attended, I was really glad that I didn't use deck tracker on a normal basis, because there are a lot of people complaining that, oh God, this is going to suck. I rely so heavily on deck tracker, and the computers that we were using didn't have deck tracker installed. I don't know if they'll go back now that they're doing fireside gatherings and put that in, but I don't even know how that works.
So could you not bring like your phone or tablet or your own computer?
Yeah, you can bring your tablet or your phone, but like you can't put deck tracker on a tablet or phone.
Okay.
So.
I just didn't know if it was you have to use our machines kind of deal.
Yeah, I just bring my laptop. Like I think any place that lets you use your own equipment, why not use deck tracker? That's my philosophy.
And I don't think using deck tracker is cheating, because I mean you could use a pen and piece of paper.
That's the thing.
Yeah, no,
I mean
it's not. I was just.
It just makes the turn faster. So by all means, if I'm playing against you, use it.
I definitely understand what you're saying though about like people relying on it. But that's when if I have to go play on like someone's machines or something where I can't bring my own software, then I just bring like a pen and paper or something and bring like a list of my own list of my decks and shit like that, so I can.
That's what I did. I'm so used to playing Magic that I do pen and paper anyway. I have a notebook that I stick in, just like a 6x9 notebook that I throw in anytime I go anywhere for Magic tournaments, and so I just threw that in with my iPad and took that.
Yeah, I think that's if that's the system that works for you, I mean that's fine. Like whatever floats your boat. I'm just
sorry, Reno Jackson. I didn't mean to get super.
No.
I think Reno makes cards like Cold Light's Oracle a little bit better and things like that still. So like they're like, yeah, I've been playing Fatigue Warrior with it, and I've been playing one Cold Light Oracle as my card draw instead of Acolyte of Pain, because it progressively moves me towards my end goal, and it's faster at getting me to set up Reno Jackson, which I like.
That is true. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. And you're trying to fatigue your opponent, so
right. So like I think what I really like about Reno is that you can play all 2 of still and a Reno Jackson, but it opens up some cards that would maybe not see as much play to get more play because of it.
Right.
And Cold Light Oracle is the one that comes to my mind because I've been playing Fatigue Reno.
Okay. I mean, and overall, just quick, body check 4/6 for 6. Obviously not amazing, but obviously the impact that you get from the battle cry is huge. But it's not bad.
Yeah, this card, it would still see play if it was a 1/1.
Yeah,
I think.
Sure.
I think it's still see play if it was a spell.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And like if you look at the body and it would still see play as a spell, then you go cheap. Then it's still fine.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just on top of it.
All right. Next one, Elise Star Seeker 3/5 for 4 reads battle cry. Shuffle the map to the golden monkey into your deck. Now, okay, so let's start with this first. Body check, 3, 5 for 4. Just fine. What do you guys think? I mean,
I think it's just fine.
Considering it has a battle cry, obviously vanilla not good, but
I'd still rather have a piloted shredder over her.
Right.
Just looking at her base power.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so spells. It kicks out Map to the Golden Monkey. Reads 2 mana spell. Reads shuffle the Golden Monkey into your deck. Draw a card. What do you guys think about that? Nice. It draws a card, I guess. Yeah.
So fucking keen for the golden monkey.
You're right.
So basically, it shuffles the map in, and then the map then shuffles the monkey in.
Right.
Okay.
So the next is you put Golden Monkey in your deck, and that is a 6/6 for 4. It reads Taunt, Battle Cry, replace your hand and deck with legendary minions. So when I first saw this card at BlizzCon, I was like, oh, this is so bad. It's so gimmicky. No. But now that I'm looking at it, you've got to play 2 cards before it's even in your deck. And even then, like, it's really not that bad because, like, for me, it's like I want to play this late game.
Super late game.
Because just because it's a legendary doesn't mean it's a necessarily a good card. Like, what do you want? Like a bunch of Nat Pagels in your hand? But late game, I think it's pretty good because by then it's like, oh yeah, I want to drop Ragnaroses and whatnot. What do you guys?
Well, that's assuming though that you still have answers in your hand that you're not going to use. Because, like, let's say you're playing Warrior, typically, the last cards in your hand, you're going to have an Acolyte because you don't want to go into Fatigue. You're going to have, like, an Execute because you're holding it for Grommash. You're going to have, like, a Shield Block because, once again, you don't want to go into Fatigue. I don't know. It depends on if the hand, if you're willing to take the gamble that you want the cards in your hand to be, not what they are.
So
do you want to lose that Execute for possibly a World of Warcraft show?
So what do we think then? Like tempo decks or like Zulocks? I mean, what do you think?
Controller is just like the last, it's the like super fatigue land. I mean, this gets you out of fatigue land. I mean, what's bad about that? Obviously, it's I think it's only really good in the control versus control super matchup where it's just like, I'm going to spend 10,000 years just armoring up and passing. It's when you get to those latter stages of when everyone's burning down and you just like play the Golden Monkey, and then it's a whole new game. Could you imagine how fucking long a Control Warrior versus Control Warrior matchup can go if you both play this at like after you played the first 30 cards? I mean, this game could easily go for an hour if you go like. Play all the way down to fatigue. Both players play the Gold Monkey. Play all the way down to fatigue. It's just like.
Wait, so does replace your hand and deck with legendary minions? So if you only have 3 cards left, does it just gives you 3 legendary minions? It doesn't give you another like 30 legendary.
No, it doesn't give you another 30.
Right,
it just gives you what's left.
I interpret it as it could give you another 30.
No.
Okay. I was going to say, wow, that would be this card would be playable then.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Yeah, if it gives you
that's
a
how I had interpreted it. No, that's a good point.
Right. Like, play this in like Control Priest or something and save this for your 30th card.
Why couldn't that be the way I would? Okay. I hate my life now.
And so that's what I mean. It only replaces the cards in your deck, no matter what the amount
Fuck
is.
you, Golden Monkey.
I know. Like it's I don't know. I guess it just depends on the card and what the goal is. I don't know. I'm not buying
I don't think it's good, but it's fun. Trollden will make a video with it. So
right.
It'll be
Trollden quit, dude. Trollden quit.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's back for leaving.
Oh, did he? He just put out. I thought it was just Disguised Toast because I saw another like.
Well, he's back as well. It's interesting. I think they just burnt out, and Legal Explorers has extended their life. If Trollden's doing more, shit.
Maybe
they're just stale because it was up until BlizzCon. If you're a content creator, I could definitely feel the burnout. I could feel the flame of particularly if you're a content creator doing, I guess, responsive content based on Blizzard content, then it's arguable that you're getting pretty close to running out of things. But now that I think Reno Jackson is a big focus in content at the moment because there's so many possibilities. And once we get the Golden Monkey, I mean, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah. Right.
And I think it's going to get bumped. The amount of content that's going to be made is going to get bumped up because we've got that. While we have the release this week, aren't we? We're skipping next week, aren't we? Because of you guys Turkey Day or
That's
whatever.
Right.
Some things that you celebrate, therefore the rest of the world has to suffer.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Get with it.
Yeah. It's
hashtag the US is the center of the universe.
Yep.
YOLO swag.
Obviously.
Exactly.
Fuck you guys. Why do I have to wait a week? Because you guys want to.
Yeah, we don't know who your president is. So
yeah. Actually, who is your president?
We technically have a president because the guy who, well, not necessarily the guy. There's a position in the Australian Senate called the President of the Senate of Australia. Ergo, the President of Australia. So the guy who controls the proceedings in the Australian Senate, his or her title is fuck me, the political correctors. Their title is President of Australian Senate. It's too much of this PC Hearthstone culture, Mike. It's killing me.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
Look, if it ain't George W., I don't want to talk about it.
That's right.
Oh God. Oh God.
I was watching some Donald Trump coverage. It was just bomb the shit out of ISIS.
Yeah,
and they're gonna go in there and take the oil. It's just like
the political race.
Good luck, boys. Good luck.
Yeah,
have fun with that country.
This political race is like a huge joke.
Elise Starseeker confirmed better than Donald Trump.
I'll buy it. All right.
Still not good though.
Yeah.
No, still a bad deal.
Yeah.
I don't know. You just gotta live a little and play the get on the quest for the Golden Monkey.
Let's see. All right, so that's Elise. Next one, Bronzebeard. Now he is in WoW lore, correct, Matt?
Yes,
that's what I thought.
Anyway,
okay.
Yeah, everyone. If you've done Ulduar, anyone who's done Ulduar or anything, the biggest expansion of all time was Wrath of the Lich King. Ergo, most people have probably encountered Brand Bronzebeard if you played WoW during Wrath.
Mm. Mm-hmm. So he is a 2/4 for 3 legend card. Reads, your battle cries trigger twice.
Mill Rogue.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm sticking it right.
Wow, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's dirty.
Double call that, Arcles.
I've also heard people talking about this card in Handlock because you can get, let's say you have a full hand and you have a Bronzebeard on board, you can get a 419 out of your Twilight Drakes. You can get
oh my God.
Yeah, you can get double Defender of Argus triggers.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. The Defender of Argus. But no, I think the Twilight Drake's my favorite.
The Twilight Drake, yeah, it's awesome. A 419, not a 420. Keep that in mind because you can get a 410, but it still has a base power of 1. So people were like, why wouldn't it be a 420 is what people have been asking me, but I'm like, no, because it has base power of 1. It only adds 9 to it. So, actually, it's a 418, actually. Now I think about it. It's only a 418 is the most you can get.
So the 420 dream is dead, is what you're telling me?
Yes, 420 dream is dead.
That's
sorry.
Right. Just need to go get one of those medicinal marijuana cards and you'd be Gucci.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, no, you have... no,
you have to get
that
a
didn't work either.
Health with the priest card that draws a card. So you have to somehow get that into your deck. And then give it +2.
You play Nefarian.
Oh, okay. Nefarian into it. Got it. Now the dream is alive again.
Right.
Seems reasonable.
Yeah.
People have been talking about that card a lot though in Handlock. I've been seeing a lot of this card potentially fits into Handlock quite well. I think it's not amazing in Handlock personally because it as a card on its own is not super impactful for Handlock, and Handlock's a really tight list already.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what you'd cut for it, especially because as we move further down, there's another card that I think fits better into a Handlock list.
So
but it definitely has some potential there.
Is this guy worse or better than the 1/7 that doubles your Death Rattle?
Better.
Yeah, I like the
You
cost.
think it's better?
Yeah.
I think
cost of it.
I think it's worse.
I don't know. Like playing
The reason.
Go ahead.
I was going to say the reason that I think it's worse is because with the double your death rattle, you don't have to see for Brian Bondsbeard, you have to have it on board first and then play the card that you want to get the double battle cry on. With the other, you play, say, like Piloted Shredder, and then you play, the next turn. If they don't kill your Piloted Shredder, you play that guy and then get the death rattle. So they can't quote unquote see it coming necessarily.
I feel like the death rattle one is more open ended, whereas this Bronzebeard, I guess, is more as a directed use card. I'm trying to think of the right word here. Like in my the combo I'm thinking of is playing that with an antique heal bot.
Yeah.
It was just the first thing that popped in my head. I don't know. I mean, what else would you play this with?
I think
Cold
it's
Light Oracle.
Yeah, obviously,
Oracle, yep.
obviously, yeah.
Novice Engineer gets better.
That's true. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I've been thinking about Fatigue Rogue with this. It's actually the deck that I'm going to immediately put this into as soon as it drops in like a day or so. Is the Fatigue Rogue bit list, because that list typically runs like a loot hoarder and or two loot hoarders, or a loot hoarder and a what's the 2-mana 1/1 that has +1 spell damage draw card. It didn't click this time. Any rate,
yeah. That guy.
In place you can run Novice Engineer. Yes, but in place you can run a Novice Engineer instead now, because the Novice Engineer does basically the same facilitation for the deck as you'd want it to, but it combos with Bronzebeard a little bit more effectively. So I mean, I think there's definitely some things. Blood Mage Thalnos, that's exactly the card I was thinking. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's really where this card's going to shine the most. But what I like about the card is that there is the potential to design a deck around it and something like a Reno Jackson style build, or like a Control Warrior list that would run, as you're saying, maybe like an anti-Keel bot, or stick with the Shield Maidens.
Oh yeah, Shield Maiden. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Obviously, I mean, the con is this is taking up a deck slot, and I feel like a lot of the decks that were like, oh, that'd be good in, other than Mill Rogue, is like there's super contested slots in there anyway. It's very tight to begin with. I don't know, like I really like the anti-kill bot. Like you said, Shield Maiden. I don't know, Dr. Boom. I don't know. You want 4 boom bots? Would that just make it crazy?
That'd be awesome.
I'm keen for 4 boom bots.
Right?
That's really what I want in my life.
Can never have too many boom bots.
Wait, so if you play this and then Dr. Boom, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6, you still have a spot for one more card. You still have a spot for, So turn 10, Bronzebeard.
Right.
Yep.
Now,
no, you play a Wisp and a Murloc Tiny Fin.
Yeah.
I see it.
Yeah.
One thing, the reason I think Bronzebeard is better than the Death Rattle one, the one that triggers off of Death Rattles, doubles the Death Rattle triggers, is because Bronzebeard, in my opinion, is better when you're behind. So the Death Rattle one, like you were saying, you can already have something on the board and then play your Baron Rivendare down and get your Death Rattle trigger. The thing is that when you're behind, you can have both Bronzebeard and, say, Anti-Keelbot in your hand. So you can play the Bronzebeard, then play the Anti-Keelbot. So when you're behind, Bronzebeard is going to trigger immediately, as compared to when you're behind with Rivendare and you put down Rivendare plus like a Piloted Shredder, it's not going to have an impact until later. And so its immediate impact, its ability to catch you up in the game, is why I think the card is actually better.
Yeah.
Well, see, my thinking as far as that from being behind. So in your situation where you're talking about Bronzebeard into Anti-Killbot, so you have to do that on turn 8. With Baron Rivendare, Piloted Shredder into Baron Rivendare, you can do that on turn 5. So Piloted Shredder, then the following turn, Baron Rivendare, kill off your Piloted Shredder.
It definitely is faster in that regard, though. Like you're saying, I agree with you. I think that because this card's better when you're behind, I think it's a better card. I like cards that can catch you up in games, and That's why I think this card just will see more play than Rivendare ever did.
Now,
It definitely helps that it's a 2/4 and that it doesn't immediately die to 2 drops.
yeah. So one question I have is, how does this technically work with cards like Argent Protector or ones where you're targeting like a buff or something? Do you get to buff and then pick something else to buff for a buff, or does it just double buff whatever you pick?
So the example that I read on Reddit was Abusive Sergeant.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, Bronzebeard will come down, then you'll use your abusive target, and then it'll target the same creature twice.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, so like if you have like an Earthen Ring Farseer, it'll target the same target twice as well.
Because what I'm wondering, like if you put that down and then Vol'jin, is it gonna go pull health from whatever it's doing and then grab 2 health back?
So, yeah, I think so. I think that's how it would actually work.
Like, that's too bad.
Rip Vol'jin.
Yeah.
Or Vol'jin.
I wonder how this works. I bet it's actually pretty good with what is it? Oh my god, the card that if there's more than 3 or 4 mind control tech.
Oh.
Yeah. So if they have like if they have 5,
5, do you take 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think so.
What if? But does it trigger again even if they're at 4? Like
that's what I'm wondering.
Does the triggers
too
go on the stack before the actual resolution?
I wonder if it's like, all right, you got 4 and it triggers a battle cry, and then just because it says it triggers twice, it triggers again. I wonder if it requires
I would bet a lot of money if they have 4, you still 2 of them, because Blizzard has shown time and time again they don't really care
about how things are written,
about how things are written down. So
it's tribal knowledge of this game, folks. Well, that's why you listen to this podcast.
It's not so much how they're written; it's how it's interpreted. So that's how we're interpreting it now. Right. It's probably easier to interpret on their end because they know how it resolves. So
yeah,
it was just have to wait and see, Jeremy.
I don't know.
How does this card work with Sir Finley Murgledon?
Do we want to just go ahead and Jeremy way into that one? I'm going to take that as a yes.
So if you did you discover 2 new hero powers?
So
you get one on either side of your hero.
So you get the second one.
So Sir Finley is a 1-mana 1/3, right?
Yeah.
And it's a Murloc, and it has the battle Murloc. And it has the battle cry of discover a new basic hero power.
So it's going to get something and then get something again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait. No. Do you discover and then get to discover again?
Yeah.
I think you discover and then discover again.
You get the second hero power.
That's not bad.
Wait, can you use the hero power, then discover again? I don't think you can.
I bet it does. Discover, you pick, and then you have it forces you to discover again.
Yeah, sure.
I think this interaction will never happen.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, right. I think you underestimate how many people create content for Hearthstone
for this exact purpose. Yeah,
just for troll shit like this.
Right. So Sir Finley Murgledon in a Murloc deck, are we gonna play it? I mean, it's a 1/3 for 1 mana. Why not? Right?
Yeah, I think it fits fine into a Murloc deck. I still don't think it makes a Murloc deck better, though.
I guess it depends on what you put it in.
Power arts. Its battle cry is weird.
Feels good in Shaman.
I'm about to say Shaman is the one where I'm like,
really good in
Shaman. The fuck out of it.
That's right. Yeah. Like I don't want to play it in a Warlock deck necessarily, but in a Shaman deck, oh hell yeah, give me that. Give me that Sir Finley Murgledon. Give it to me.
You know what would make this card really, really cool if its battle cry was your hero power becomes 2 mana, summon a 1/1 Murloc.
Good motherfucking Moogly. No, I missed Googly. Good
that would be
motherfucking
awesome.
Moogly, Jeremy.
How would that be overpowered? Murlocs suck anyway. It's the same thing as Paladin's hero power.
Yeah, but you give them charge then with the one guy. So like, they just get better in numbers is the issue. So like if you're able to spit out more of them each turn, it's just like an ever-ending wave of Murlocs. It's like a Zerg rush at that point.
That's a bad one.
Yeah, what Murlocs to happen? Murloc destroys Secret Paladin. You guys didn't know this? Confirmed. DRC confirmed.
DRC confirmed. Thank you. Yes.
It is worth noting with this card that at 5 mana, you can use your hero power, play it, get your new hero power, and then use your new hero power. So that's something that I think that's really where I wouldn't say the card shines there because it's still just a 1/3 for 1 that you get out of the deal. But it is worth noting that you can get double hero powers when you don't want to utilize a card.
Just to confirm, I'm sure they've already answered this. There's no way that your current hero power is listed as one of the 3 options, right?
I don't know. I would imagine it is, but who knows?
It says new.
It does say new.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, so I would imagine that it wouldn't. That'd be unfunny if you could pick from the same one.
Yeah, unless you play this after Bronzebeard.
Well, in that case, I would think that it was probably If it seems intuitive to me that if the one that you pick the first time isn't there the second time, but your original hero power could be there the second time.
Because nothing would be worse than playing Shaman. Get rid of the totems. Damn it, more totems.
My 3 options are summon a random totem, and summon a random totem.
How could you lose?
Yeah.
How can you win?
Yeah. So that's Sir Finley Murgleton. Next up is is it Din?
It's Genie.
It's Genie.
It's Genie.
Is it
they
Genie?
spelled it weird.
I can't.
Yeah.
That reminds me of the time I asked for a chicken parmesan at the Italian restaurant like 10 years ago.
Oh my God. It's just like Chipotle sauce or
Chipotle. Go to that Chipotle.
You're placing the emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Perfect. Yes. So, Genie of Zephyrs. Zephyrus. I'm going to say Zephyrs. We're going to go with that. It's the one with the Genie
Zephyrs,
guy.
I believe.
Yeah. It's a 4/6 for 5. Minion, neutral minion. Reads, whenever you cast a spell on another friendly minion, cast a copy of it on this one. So
it's been seeing a little bit of play in some like crazy weird priest builds.
I
for
figured
fun.
It'd be priest, yeah.
The priest OTKs.
Yeah, with like what's that card? Inner Fire. And I can't think of the other one is. But that's kind of more for fun than anything.
Yeah.
Is kind of how I've seen it. I think this card could have some potential in like a Shaman Wind Fury kind of build, where you can get some value out of it that way. But even then, I don't know. It's a large cost to pay to get the card onto the battlefield before you actually start making its effect happen.
Yeah, it's a big investment. Which I feel like that's what this whole set was let's slow down the game and reward players who want to invest more time. Kind of away from tempo, but would you play this or Epithorazon or any number of cards? I guess it just depends because the 5 and 6 slots are very contested. I think depending, obviously 6 is more, but contested than the 5.
You know what? You know what card is a lot better than this?
Pilot Shredder.
A lot of them. Piloted Shredder specifically, but a lot of them. That's not to say it's a bad card, but it's not that good.
I feel like
it's just such a specific build around me card.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I like it. I like the card.
I've been thinking about it for a little while, and I like the idea of, and I haven't messed with this yet, but I really should have a little bit this last week. Like a mill druid build that runs this plus Mark of the Wild, because you're going to be able to draw through your deck relatively fast in that kind of deck. So you'll be able to find Mark of the Wilds and set up big taunters that way. Now, granted, the downside there is that in that kind of deck, most of their threats are already going to have taunt. So I don't know if that's actually going to be really viable or great. Not necessarily viable, but good. So I don't know. It just feels like it doesn't have a home yet.
It's a late game card, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a weird card.
Yeah. All right. Next one. Naga Sea Witch, 5/5 for 5 reads, your cards cost 5. So 2 things. One, I hope we see a Naga tribe sometime in the future. I'm sure it won't be soon.
This isn't labeled as a Naga.
No, not yet. Not yet.
Oh, yeah. No indication of future happenings.
Not yet.
Yeah.
I believe it. Like mech, obviously we had mechs before the mech tribe was a thing. I want to see it. We did?
So what you're saying is Naga, please.
Yeah, Naga, please.
Jesus.
Now your cards cost 5. This is the other thing. Another reward people playing slow, expensive decks. But even then,
whilst punishing people who play this at aggro.
Right.
But even then, aren't you going to still play like Wrath or?
Yeah. I'm
trying to think what deck this would fit into. It feels like a Druid card.
I'm playing Devil's Advocate here, but I'm having a hard time doing that.
I'm keen for my 5 mana Deathwing after playing Naga
Sure.
City, in which case I've already still played 10 mana worth of stuff anyway. I could just played Deathwing by itself, but that's just me.
I feel like if you're playing this card, you're playing a slow deck anyway, so you probably have a full hand.
If you're playing Deathwing, you're playing the ancestral deck, right? Like the.
I guess.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
This card's not that good. It's not. I mean, unless something weird happens.
So I guess it nerfs Mage a little bit. Obviously there's a bajillion minions, so it maybe not that hard. But
what do you mean?
With cards like where is it?
That's my favorite card.
Yeah, that one. Where is it? Oh, Unstable Portal.
5 mana Pyroblast.
Yeah, 5 mana Pyroblast seems like the kind of card.
Sure. But I'm thinking more like your tempo mages or things like that.
5 mana Ronin.
But are you saying that like it nerfs them because you play it? It only says your cards cost 5, not everyone's.
Yeah. It's only the person who plays it.
I just don't think this card's good enough.
Now
Hey, quick question. So this is sort of a sidetrack, but there's only 2 epics in this set and 5 legendaries. Does this put us back to the point where there are more legendaries in the game than there are epics?
Oh, that's too bad.
I don't know.
That's weird.
Huh.
I don't like it. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah.
There's too many legendaries and not enough epics.
There are a lot of legendaries in this game.
It's not very epic.
But like that's assuming that you assume that that's reflective of that they're like their rarity relative to how many people have them. Like in a normal card game where you open booster packs to get legendaries, it's different because it affects how often they're drawn. These ones are given to you, so. And I think it's more about it's more about enforcing the fact that you can only have one of each of these cards in their deck, as opposed to it being a statement about how rare they are.
Okay,
that's fair.
I don't know.
That makes sense.
I don't like when Matt's like right and
no, I don't think.
No, he's totally right here.
Yeah,
logical decisions.
How frustrating!
I don't like it. It makes me really uncomfortable.
Oh man. So I guess I don't know what to think about this card. Watch it be
we'll
like
see it later.
When you say you don't know, Mike, does that mean you don't like it, but you don't want to say it, and you're looking for any reason as to why it's good?
I'm trying to.
That's exactly what he means.
I'm really trying to see a place where this fits. I'm trying hard.
So bad pending something that you can't think of right now.
Yeah.
Is that
he's trying not to say bad so that in 2 months when someone comes up with a weird deck that makes this work, he doesn't look stupid.
I can come on the show and be like, "Oh, you guys are wrong. I told you it was great."
That's why people say it like so much. Is like, I don't know. Is because they don't want to pick a side.
Why do we have to pick sides? Why is this a fight? You just want to fight, Matt. That's what it is. You just like to fight.
One of us has to be right, black or white.
You don't want to be accountable to anything you said. If you say I don't know,
oh come on,
you're dodging accountability.
I'm serious.
Judgment on the card.
So the team made this card for a reason. I don't believe they just made this card and said, screw it. Just put a 5/5 for 5 that makes cards cost for 5. Just throw it into the game. It's fine. I refuse to believe that's why that's in there.
I don't see which deck it's going to fit in, so I'm going to go on that it's bad.
Like, they've play tested it, so I have to imagine that somebody came up with an idea of, hey, I wonder how it is with this deck.
Have you seen the decks they play test though? Like their matches, their little matches that they have that are like, hey, look at this right before the World Championship. They're playing really, really bad decks. Yeah. Team 5 does not play competitive decks. They play like I'm playing Murloc Beast Synergy Hybrid.
I just want to believe that this card will see some play. I want to believe.
Sure, it might see play in Arena, maybe.
So here's the thing. If in 2 months the card's played and it's like, oh my God, you got to throw this in there. Like, take out your Emperor Tharzan and put in Nagasiwich. I promise I won't come on the show and gloat. I promise, because I really don't know.
It's
my initial inclination is to say it's bad, but I really don't know. So
okay,
I'll leave it there. I
like all the dumb puns I can pull out of it. I've already said like 5. Like it's not gonna happen. I'm gonna see which deck it's gonna fit into.
Oh man, so many. Well played. So, next one. I'm excited about this card. I really am. Summoning Stone. 0/6 for 5 reads: whenever you cast a spell, summon a random minion of the same cost. I like this card.
Cool.
I think it's fun.
It's fun.
Like,
it's pretty much what it is.
I made a lock and load hunter deck with this earlier this week that I kind of pulled most of it offline. Mm-hmm. But basically the general idea is you only play 3 creatures in the deck. You play 2 summoning stones and 1 Elic. And so basically you have 3 chances to mull to your summoning stone. And then everything is the hunter removal spells, explosive trap and stuff like that to keep the board clear.
Yeah.
Until turn 5 or 6. And then you hopefully play summoning stone into an empty board. And then in your next turn, you just lock and load and go crazy. And it's really fun.
Do we think like I like that because it's sort of building that control hunter that I've always wanted. Rogue. Do we like the idea of having a bunch of wisps on the board?
Savitz was streaming. Savitz was streaming this on at my lunch today, and he was doing it in Legend at he's like rank 1800 or whatever, but he seemed to be winning 1 out of every 2 games with it.
Huh. So
I mean, 33%. So yeah, it's
returning, of course.
Savitz. So.
It's fun. I don't think it'll be very competitive, but it's a fun card to play around with.
I want it to be.
No, it's really cool.
Yeah. Here, I'm going to say it here. I think in a month and a half, we're going to be like, oh my God, take out Thorzan and put in Summoning Stone. Maybe not that. But I'm predicting this card is going to be played.
I don't know, Mike. I don't know.
You're crazy, Mike.
Damn it, you guys.
Mike's crush on Emperor Thorsan is
I'm just throwing out a 5/5.
palpable.
I don't know.
I think this card could be good if this is a big if we're given spells that give us mana. Then you can generate mana and start creating some sort of loop and like dig
you
through
just
your deck
want to
and
play
create a
Storm in Hearthstone.
Oh my God, I want to play Storm in Hearthstone. I want to play Storm all the time.
We're talking like X-Men?
No, Storm is
no, it's a magic deck that generates a ton of mana and kills people with 1 turn. Kills. Yeah. It's a combo deck.
It won't happen because if anything combo related happens in Hearthstone, it gets eliminated.
Mm-hmm.
Ban it.
Yeah.
Sad boys.
Yeah. I like this card. I'm sorry.
Summoning Stone Druid, make it happen.
Yeah. Okay.
It's probably the only way because you get Innervate. That's pretty much the only way that I think it has any potential.
I don't know. We're gonna see it. Rogue's gonna just swamp the board with a bunch of wisps.
I don't know, 6
OP
for 5.
Yeah. All right.
And Murloc Tiny Fins.
Yeah. All right. Next one. Errie Statue 7/7 for 4. Can't attack unless it's the only minion on the battlefield. I feel like this punishes controlled decks, sort of. Maybe.
Okay, this is exactly where this card's fitting. You ready? Handlock. because it's another 4-drop that's big and cheap. It's basically another it's a worse version of the giants, but it gives them more giants, and you have your taunt effects, and you can taunt them up with your Sun Fury protectors and your Argent Defender of Argus. That's where this card's
yeah. Okay, so here's would you pull out Silent Watchers, right?
Ancient Watcher.
Ancient Watcher. There you go. Watcher. Would you pull out Ancient Watchers and play 2 of these instead?
No. I think because you just still need your silence effects from Iron Beak Owls, and those combo with Iron Beak Owl just too effectively.
And like the 4 slot is so contested, I don't think at the moment it doesn't feel like it's worth it unless like shit slows down more. I don't know.
No.
Oh no, I do know. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good enough for a 4 slot. Like obviously, the dream is there are some situations where this is really good.
Yeah.
But so obviously, if you get in a situation where you buff this with a Defender of Argus, then you can use Argus and whatever else you buff to trade into your opponent's board, and then put yourself in a position where this is the only card. Then that'll be great. But I don't. It doesn't. I do know. I'm not going to say I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, you can silence this just like you could at Ancient Watcher.
Yeah, this is true. And turn it into just a straight 7/7.
Yeah, and I mean, it's 2 mana later, but like if you're playing Handlock, you don't necessarily like. I feel like you're not playing an Ancient Watcher unless you kind of have to on turn 2 or turn 3.
But I think that there's enough other things such as a Pilot Shredder or a Twilight Drake that you'd want to play on 4 that does things instantly.
Yeah,
that makes it. It seems like it would need play testing, but based on my initial reactions, I don't think it's better than the other 4 drops. The stats make it quite compelling, but I don't think it's it doesn't seem like it's going to be good enough.
So here's the thing. I'm going to disagree. This is one where I do know that I'm right. How's that sound?
This would be better. This card would be way better if instead it was an 8/8 and it cost 5 mana. And then, I don't know, it had some kind of downside where, like, whenever your opponent played a spell, you milled some cards or something.
Oh, there's so much salt going through the internet right now.
It sounds like Fell Reaver. Oh, wait.
I don't know what that card is. I don't know what you're
I actually think Errie Statue is interesting, too, because if you think about the game plan of Handlock, which is, take damage in order to get Molten Giants out for cheap. If you say, let's say, for instance, like Echo Mage. If you instead have Molten Giants and Errie Statues as your giants in something like an Echo Mage list, you're able to transform into something similar to what Handlock is doing. So what I think is cool about Errie Statue is it also potentially facilitates other classes to do similar things to what Handlock is currently doing.
Yeah.
And so you still have those core cards of 2 Iron Beak Owls, 2 Ancient Watchers, now 2 Errie Statues, 2 Molten Giants, your defender of Arguses, and your Sun Fury protector. So you would still get a lot of the tools that the Handlock list would get. Now, is that better than a Handlock list? Probably not, because Handlock is incredibly powerful. It has a great card draw engine. It has perfect finishers for what its game plan is. But Errie Statue is going to replace the Twilight Drakes in the lists that can't support insane amount of card draw like Warlock can. So like a mage build that maybe their only card draw is Arcane Intellects or something like that. So I think the card has a lot of utility. I think the card's really good, and I think it's going to see a lot of play.
I like the idea of using this card with a Shadow Flame too, because now you've got more targets to Shadow Flame other than because there's no worse feeling than I'm gonna, here's a giant, I'm throwing it out. I really want to hit face with this or take out some, but I have to play it and then Shadow Flame it. Now you've got something you don't mind throwing away. Yeah, it's 2 mana more than an Ancient Watcher, but it also does, almost twice double the damage. And I guess the combo does cost 2 more mana too, so that's something to consider. That you can't do it turn 6 necessarily, but I don't know. I like it. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try replacing my Ancient Watchers with those and see how that works. I'm gonna give it a go.
I wouldn't. I'd keep Ancient Watcher, but yeah, good. It's definitely worth trying out. It's a cool card.
All right, Eerie Statue. Next up, Ancient Shade, 7/4 for 4. Battle Cry. Shuffle an Ancient Curse into your deck that deals 7 damage when drawn.
Do you guys know if after you draw that Ancient Curse, you draw an additional card, or is that your card draw for the turn?
I would assume, based on like the way things work, it would be you get an ambush, like the mine.
Oh yeah, Burrowing Mine.
Yeah, I would imagine, because think about it. If it's unfun, Jeremy, then it's probably not going to be a thing. And getting 7 damage dealt to you is not fun, Jeremy. So that's probably
maybe if you're. This could be really good in handlock.
No,
I'm just kidding. This card's not good.
I've had someone play this against me in arena, and it was very bad. They got a 7 damage mine in their. They didn't go off, so I didn't see if it would draw them another card. But they got the curse in their deck, and I just traded it with a 4/3 for 3. So it wasn't good.
No, I feel like they fucked up then if they're playing this into a 4/3.
Right.
They just played it out, and I was like, cool, kill it.
No.
So it just wasn't good.
But I think on 4 it's fine. Like it's
sure. Sometimes it's gonna hit hard.
Yeah, sometimes it's gonna hit hard, but like obviously
Piloted Shredder.
Yeah, it's not. It's not better than Piloted Shredder.
Yeah.
But it's such a high like tiered card.
It's not even better than like Hungry Dragon, and Hungry Dragon doesn't see play. I think Hungry Dragon's better.
I can agree with that.
I still think it's still think this is playable. I don't think it's necessarily better than Shredder or Hungry Dragon, but I still think it's playable.
Yeah, it's playable. It's
playable
not, I'm not
in, in what though? Because Hungry Dragon isn't. Hungry Dragon doesn't see play. So what are you talking? Playable in arena?
No, I don't. I just like does because there are better choices. Does that make something unplayable? Is that
yes? If those better choices are also neutral.
Okay. Then in that sense, then it's unplayable. But in the sense that like you could put it in okay, I see what you mean. But yeah, it's probably unplayable.
If those other cards are also neutral, like if there were a deck that needed a 7/4 for 4 and this were like a class card or something like that had some other kind of weird effect, maybe. But like when you're comparing it with other neutral minions that have better stats and better effects, I think like you have to at some point replace cards in a deck unless you're going to build around the deck like Summoning Stone. And this Ancient Shade is not a build around me card.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's about it for Ancient Shade. Can you guys think anything else? I think it's kind of consensus that this card isn't terribly awesome.
It's
not horrible.
It's weird and no, I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. We'd rather play a Fell Reaver. I think you're right. I'm only half kidding. All right, next card. I like that card. Next card, Fossilized Devilsaur, 8/8 for 8, Battle Cry. If you control a beast, gain taunt, meaning the Devilsaur gains taunt.
It's fine in arena, bad and constructed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, Control Hunter?
No, don't say you don't know. You do know.
It's not good.
You do know this is not good.
It's free taunt. It's free 8/8 taunt. Come on.
It's not free. It costs 8. It's not as good as War Golem.
Say it, Mike. Say it with me. I do know that it is not good.
Not saying it. Not saying it. Not saying it. Not doing it.
It's a dinosaur skeleton that's alive, guys. God.
That's pretty badass. I'm just gonna say that out loud. That I'll say. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we can directly compare it to the 8/8 for 8 that Druid gets that already has taunt.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's kind of the same idea.
Yeah.
To some extent, only it's harder to get the taunt ability.
Yeah.
So and that card doesn't see play in constructed. it hardly sees play in arena, and when it does see play in arena, it's generally like a 1 or so. It's like a 1 of. So like it's just, I don't know. It's not that great.
No,
It's just yeah.
I don't think it's horrible.
No, it's not terrible. It's playable. It's serviceable in a deck as a nice finisher in like an arena run. But I'm not going to go out of my way to pick this card over something else.
All right. Well, that one's pretty cut and dry. Next up, Wobbling Runts. 2/6 for 6 reads Death Rattle. Summon at 3/2/2 runts.
It's not bad.
No.
Yeah,
I like this card.
It's definitely not bad. There might be so it's a contested slot for number 6, but it's good at can see it being in a fantastic arena card, but
it's really good in arena.
Yeah, it's really good in arena. I for people who play Magic, here's my reference. This card is the Titan. Oh shoot, I can't think of the name.
Grave Titan.
Grave Titan. This is the Grave Titan of arena, basically. So basically what I'm trying to say is Grave Titan's insanely powerful in Magic, and Wobbling Runts is slow, but its power of spitting out 3 2/2s is incredibly powerful. It's it doesn't give you a very, very good body for 6 mana, but it spits out a bunch of power after it dies. So it's kind of like Savannah Highmane in that way, that it spits out a bunch of power.
The weird, it fits that Savannah Highmane. What's the other piloted shredder? Piloted Sky Golem.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it fits in that area where this is not a bad card, but I don't know where it goes.
I feel like it gets better when the Death Rattle happens. Like 2/6 is kind of meh. Unless you're playing against aggro decks, but
definitely.
Like 3 2/2s. Oh yeah, give it to me all day.
This card would be really cool with taunt.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Next
then it
up
would be Sludge Belcher level.
Oh yeah. Next up, Anubisath Sentinel. It's a 4/4 for 5 Death Rattle. Give a random friendly minion +3/+3.
I've played against this a couple times in arena already this week, and it has never been good. Every time I've seen it, it's been a 4/4 for 5, and I've been able to answer everything else on their board and then kill it. So this card is good when you're ahead, but bad when you're behind. And cards that are bad when you're behind are generally worse in arena than cards that are decent when you're behind or good when you're behind.
Yeah.
There's just if this was a battle cry trigger, I would say this card is decent when you're behind because you can play it on turn 7 alongside something else. But since the Death Rattle trigger, it's hard to manipulate that when you're behind. And so this card feels a little bit more like a win more card. And so if I had the option of this 5-drop and another 5-drop, I'm generally going to take the other 5-drop or the other card in my arena runs.
Because I mean, this is a lot like the Priest. What is that 3/4? Death Rattle. What was that?
Dark Cultist?
Yes. Now, I think it's different because, Priest needed a 3-drop, but also that's a very good 3-drop. This is not a very good 5-drop as far as the body goes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Dark Cultist is great because its body is great, and then it just has the upside of having a good ability.
Yeah.
This one is, the body is bad, but it has the upside of having a really good ability.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, as you were saying, on its own, it's not good enough.
Yeah. Guys, any other thoughts?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I agree with Bradley.
That one's kind of cut and dry. Next up, Gorilla Bot A3. It's a 3/4 for 4 mech. Battle cry. If you control another mech, discover a mech. I like it. It's I'm gonna try this in my mech mage, I guess. I mean, what do you guys think?
Once again, it's is it better than Piloted Shredder?
Well, in a mech deck, though, are you gonna play both of them? Maybe.
Well, you would play currently. You play Piloted Shredder and Mechanical Yeti, right? So then the question becomes: is this better than Mechanical Yeti?
I don't think anyone still plays Mechanical Yeti in their mech decks.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, if you're going to play another 4-drop, so you've got you're not going to take out Blast Mage. You're not going to take out Piloted Shredder.
Yeah.
So you would have to be, if you have space for a 4-drop, it would be in place of.
I guess, yeah, if you wanted to play a quicker mech deck and not play like Archmages or things like that, you could put this in instead.
It is nice that it gives you card advantage.
Yeah. I don't know.
That was sort of my thinking behind like Ancient Shade being like okay, is that like if you want to put more 4-drops in, it's fine. But that makes it unplayable.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't think it's necessarily better than. I think the fact that it relies on a mech to be worth the mana is not worth it. I think you just better. I think it's obviously inferior to Piloted Shredder.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you get it on turn 3, if you have a mech warper out and you get to play this guy for 3 mana, it's good. For 4 mana, it's not very good.
Yep.
Keep in mind that this is going to find you generally a very powerful mech because most mech cards are powerful.
Yeah.
So if you have 3 options available to you, you might get a Piloted Shredder out of it. You might get a Piloted Sky Golem. You might get a Sneed's Old Shredder out of it. So there's a lot of good things that this is going to give you when it gives you a card. So when it says draw a card, basically, instead of, discover a mech basically says discover, or it says basically draw a mech.
Well, side note to this though is that the discover mechanic, Ben Brode said on Twitter earlier this week or in the last week that the discover mechanic has, I think it's like a 4 times greater chance to pull a class card, and with the exception of mage, most class mechs are not good.
So you're saying that most likely you're going to have a Snow Chugger as one of your options.
If you're playing Mech Mage, which that's good for Mech Mage, but if you're playing, let's see, Shaman. What are the Shaman?
You get Whirling Zap-O-Matic as one of the options.
All right. So it's still not that bad. Any deck that you're playing a mech in, I guess. But if you pick this up in Arena, it's worth noting that it normally pulls. It normally pulls class cards.
Yeah.
So, like, if you pick this up as a hunter, there's a good chance you're going to get the Snaggletooth, Barely Claw, whatever his name is.
Yeah. So
I think it's Metal Tooth Leper is the name of that card. By the way,
that's it.
Yeah, Snaggletooth. Snaggletooth Kitty.
Snaggletooth Barely Claw. I'm going to start calling that on my stream. Snaggletooth Barely Claw.
So I will agree that I think you guys were saying, like Blast Mage, obviously I'm going to play that over this card. But other classes, this isn't a bad plug-in since you can't play Blast Mage. Right? No? Am I wrong? Am I right?
It's fine.
It's okay.
It's just that it's if it was a 4 or 5, I'd be happy to play it. If being a 3/4, I'd still just rather have a Piloted Shredder because
if it's a 4/5, it's just like the biggest power creep sign ever.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
But Piloted Shredder it's just power creep on his own when he came out, anyways. So
right.
Like, I don't know. It's just it's always you have to go back to the Piloted Shredder test. Does it beat Shredder? And just like you were saying, Mushu, it doesn't.
If something beats Shredder, that's when it's fucking scary. Because what could you make that was balanced that is better than Shredder? Like obviously there are things like Blast Mage are put in alongside a Shredder, much like a Twilight Drake is sometimes put in.
Yeah, Houndmaster.
Anything that's better than a Shredder, that's fucking scary.
All right. So that's Gorilla Bot. Next up is Tomb Spider. It's a 3/3 for 4 reads. Battlecry, discover a beast.
I think it's the exact same conversation we just had with the mech dude. Gorilla Bot A3.
Yeah. The upside though is this one just straight up discovers a beast. It doesn't have to have a beast on the battlefield to discover.
Well, I think that's
true.
Like it might be one of those educational standpoints from Team 5 in that you look at these 2 cards directly or side by side rather, and you can see the difference between the 2 and how the stats differ. So it's a very easy, I guess, lesson learning about how cards are weighted and how they get their stats and what sort of circumstances give them better stats and what you have to fulfill to get a better body.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say this is fine in Arena. I would be happy to have this in Arena. When it comes to Gorilla Bot, I wouldn't be as happy because, again, you have to have mech synergy. So I'm very happy to have a Tomb Spider in my Arena runs, but I'm not going to play this. I'm not going to play this over Piloted Shredder. Same issue we've always had.
Yep.
All right. So next one, I'm excited about this card too. Jeweled Scarab. It's a 1/1 for 2. Battle Cry. Discover a 3-cost card, and it is a beast. I like this card.
Yep, I tried this in. I think this card's good. I tried it in mid-range Hunter because I don't know when Ben Brode came out earlier this week into last week and said, there's a 4x greater chance that Discover gets a class card. Why in the world didn't they just say that when they announced this set? Because that makes Discover the mechanic like infinitely better. Because class cards are inherently much more powerful than neutrals. So Jeweled Scarab, what I thought was all right. So I play this on turn 2, and guarantee 103 drops are really good. You got like Kill Command. You've got the
Animal Companion.
Summon a Beast. Yeah, Animal Companion, Eagle Horn Bow, stuff like that. Like it's good stuff. So I tried this out in a Hunter, and the only downside is you are playing it into cards that kill it, that trade with it and stay alive. So the 1/1 body, I don't know why this card couldn't be a 2/2.
A 2/2.
I don't think it being a 2/2 makes it overpowered.
I don't know,
because you've already got cards. It's going up against stuff like Shielded Minibot, which is a 2/2 for 2, which is technically a 4/4 for 2. And then you've got stuff like Mad Scientist, which is a 2/2 plus a 2 mana spell for free that gets played for free. Draw a card, play a card for free. So if you want a 2-drop to get put, you've got like Knife Juggler, which is a 3/2 that protects itself by being able to kill other things on the board in front of it. A 1/1 for 2 is really hard to play, so I dropped it in favor of Alec. But I do think the card's okay.
I think my argument there is it's discovering a 3-cost card, but that card does not come from your deck. So you're effectively getting 31. If you're running one of these, 31 cards in your deck. That's my only where I think it makes it more
that only
powerful.
matters if you go to Fatigue. I think it would be way better if it discovered a 3-cost card from your deck.
That is
because
very
then,
true.
like, I'm definitely getting Kill Command, Eagle Horn Bow, or
Animal Companion.
Animal Companion. I can't ever remember the name of that card.
I think this card's a lot like pretty similar to like Novice Engineer. It's, for 2 mana, you're getting a 1/1, and then Novice Engineer replaces itself by drawing a card. So it does something similar. The upside to the Jeweled Scarab is it finds a 3-cost card. So the next turn, you can immediately use that 3-cost card. So that makes it a little bit better, and it's a beast creature type. So it definitely has its upsides, but if I like you were talking about with Hunter, on turn 2, the problem with Hunter, in my opinion, is that it's really hard for Hunter to catch up when it's behind in the game again.
Yeah.
Right.
And so if I'm going to spend my turn 2 putting a 1/1 on the board and then try and catch up after that, it seems like it would fit best in like a Hunter list, but even then it doesn't feel like great there.
I think the card I don't think it's good in current iterations of Hunter, but I would not put this card like to the side and say that this is not a good card, because I think this is a good card. I think especially if the meta continues to slow down, if Reno has the effect that we see it currently having, if we wind up in a heavily mid-range and control meta where the most important thing is for you to play a on curve every turn, with the exception of Shielded Minibot, like this card gets you to a place where you're going to play a 2-drop, you're going to play a 3-drop, and by then hopefully you've drawn a 4-drop. So even though it doesn't trade well, like you said, it does say Beast on it. So that's kind of what drew me to playing it in Hunter. But
it's nice on turn 5 to be able to play this, find a kill command, and then just kill command for 5 as well.
Yes.
So, I mean, that is definitely
the dream.
a good upside there.
Yeah. I like the card. I really do.
I think it's okay.
I'm not looking to play it on turn 2. I agree with you guys. I think it's okay. I'm just not on turn 2. I don't want to keep this in my opener generally. That's how I feel about it.
I kept it. There were a couple of hands where I had Jeweled Scarab and Piloted Shredder in my opening hand, and I mulliganed the 3rd card because I knew that I would hit, coin Jeweled Scarab into possible another 2-drop, or if you don't have the coin, then you go Jeweled Scarab 3-drop. You're going to have a 3-drop and then Piloted Shredder.
Okay.
I did get the dream hand once where it was Jeweled Scarab into what's the guy that changes cards into a 5/5 or a 1/1?
Tink Master Overspark.
Yes.
Okay.
I got to play I got to play Jeweled Scarab, pick up Tink Master, attack, and then transform.
Yeah.
It was either going to be his Shielded Minibot or my Jeweled Scarab, and I transformed my Jeweled Scarab into a 5/5, so it was nice.
I don't think Jeweled Scarab, the Discover, does it tell you that the card was discovered when they play it? So if you play that Tink Master Overspark, does it pop up and say discovered by Jeweled Scarab or something?
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know. I mean, I guess you could track their hand, but like...
Well, I think that you can with like deck track and stuff. But I think that sort of explains. I had a game against Warrior last night, and he Tink Mastered me, and I was like, "What the fuck?" First of all, he like flipped and got like, because obviously it's random now. But yeah, he turned my my Shredder or something into a 1/1 squirrel, and I was just like, "Man, who the hell still plays Tink Master?" But now that I figure that up, that sort of makes sense to me. That because he coined Jeweled Scarab, and it's just like, man, that would have been helpful if I hadn't known it was discovered, because that would make more sense. But yeah,
right.
I understand like how you're entitled to know if it's unstable portal and things like that, because that's like sort of weird things can happen. But I wonder, do you guys think that we're entitled to know if something was discovered?
Web Spinner?
Yeah, exactly. Do you think we're entitled to know if something was discovered?
I think we are.
I'm not 100% sure. It doesn't tell you already, but based on my my recollection, I can't remember seeing it. So it's possible that it doesn't, but it's also possible that it might.
Yeah, maybe they do. If they don't, they shouldn't. Or if they don't, they should. I think.
Yeah, I think we should. I think we should do.
I don't even know if it does. Like it says when you do when you're playing against someone with an unstable portal. Is that what you guys are talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Web Spinner does the same thing. Like, this card from Web Spinner.
Sure enough. All right.
That way, okay, they're not playing King Crush. They just got a King Crush.
Yep. All right. Next up, Huge Toad, 3/2 for 2. Beast reads Death Rattle, deal 1 damage to a random enemy.
It would be playable if that were a battle cry.
I think it's still playable. It's not great. It's better than a Bloodfin Raptor. I mean, it's just strictly better than a Bloodfin Raptor.
Right.
I'm happy to play a Bloodfin Raptor in Arena all the time. I don't know if it sees constructed play. Like the card I like to compare it in constructed right now is King Zelik, out of like a Hunter build. So that's where I feel like it would fit potentially, and it would take that slot. So the real question is, do you want the 1 random damage, or do you want a 50% chance to draw an extra card?
You want the 50% chance to draw Sven Hyman.
Yes. Yeah. So I think that for that reason, we will see more King Zelix than we'll ever see Huge Toads in constructed.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Great arena card, though. I'm very happy to have this in a hunter list.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be great.
All right. Anything else? Any other thoughts, Matt?
No, I think it's
All right.
pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I think so too. Last one, best card in the deck, or in the set. Murloc Tiny Fin, 1/1 for 0. Murloc
Murloc
That's
Wisp.
Yeah, basically. It is better than a Wisp.
Makes Murloc Knight inherently worse.
Yeah.
It does make. Yeah, that sucks.
That's awesome. Screw Murloc Knight.
I don't like Murloc Knight so much. You play Arena too much.
I do.
Murloc Knight is not as good in constructed. It's fine. It's really good in constructed, but it's not broken like it is in Arena.
So that's all the neutral cards.
Yeah, that's it. We've gone over the spells. Yeah.
What do you guys think of the first week of the bosses? If we
it's really easy this time, I felt like, for the most part.
That's the same like with any. I think all first week bosses are pretty easy. Like that's the design of the normal mode. Is supposed to be one-shottable quite easily.
You guys say that, but none of you done on heroic yet.
Yes, I have.
You did. Okay.
Yeah, okay. I one-shotted the first 2 bosses with just like a regular secret paladin deck, and then the heroic mode of the Temple Escape was the thing that I had a little bit of difficulty with, and I just ended up building a paladin deck with a lot of humility and a Noyotron, basically things to stall, and that's the whole strat. It's like you run removal and stall, and that gets you through. And obviously you take the safest, because you get to pick the traps and the things that you do when you're running out of the temple. So you pick the safest line, and like, for example, you take the one where you skip a turn and shit like that. It's like basically just to minimize your damage taken and maximize on the fact that you should be able to clear or stall creatures. And so I got after like 2 or 3 attempts or something. I got really close. The first time I just one-shotted it with a secret pally, or I got close to one-shotting it to like turn. I had like 2 turns left or something, and then it just sort of got too much for me. But I drew pretty well. But yeah, it's I aim to. I always start off with a new adventure trying to do the heroics, but then eventually either I get bored or something happens that I don't, because I haven't finished BRF or Nax and done. Yeah, no, I've done the first week of. Card backs sort of became less important to me. The more they're released, then the less I sort of followed. Like I didn't even buy the virtual ticket this year for BlizzCon because I didn't want the rewards that badly, and it's just like, man, I saved myself $50. I just like Mercadin in WoW is kind of cool, and like obviously the BlizzCon card back's kind of cool, and the other perks you get, but I just don't think it's worth it anymore. It just doesn't feel like I couldn't lie to myself this year and say I was going to watch the coverage on the Blizzard website, and I was like, nah, I'd probably just watch Twitch VODs or whatever, because there's no reason for them. Like they lose money if they don't have good Twitch coverage, basically. And I think when I first bought my virtual ticket, that wasn't the case, where Twitch was like the be all end all of live streaming, and so they didn't put as much effort into it. So you got some almost exclusive content from the from the virtual ticket, and things like you obviously I don't think you saw the trailer for for the Warcraft movie on the virtual ticket, but you wait 6 hours or something, and it's online anywhere, so it didn't really matter. But yeah, I'm keen to see this week's heroic, this week's bosses, because
there's only 3 good card backs anyway. There's the rainbow, the pumpkin, and the legend, and those are the only 3 good card backs, right?
The rainbow.
Is that not?
I have no idea. Honestly, I don't think I've ever even changed my card backs.
Do you still have the original?
I think so. I honestly don't even know.
That's funny.
I know one time someone on my stream was like, you got to change them. So I added some, like at one point I changed 1 or something. And then I was like, all right, I'm done with this. I just don't care.
I've set mine. Once I got the legend card back, I don't think I'll ever change it, just because like that was a ton of work for me. I'm not like the best player in Hearthstone, so
But I'm a
I
legend.
made a really big deal. Yeah, I
Okay.
made it. That's why I make such a big deal out of it, because like that's not going to happen, again, probably. So, the legend card back's cool. I'll probably keep that one forever. I do like my pumpkin one. And I'm really sad that I'll never have the rainbow one, because I didn't start playing until after that was a thing.
Oh man, got to get that rainbow one.
I don't know. Like they should all, if they offered at some point, they've got to offer like, hey, you can pick one card back that you don't have from the past or something like that as a monthly thing.
Yeah,
that would be really cool. I think.
There you go, Blizz dev team. That one's free.
You're welcome. On us.
Speaking of the Blizzard dev team, there was a rumor circulating earlier this week about next year's structure for the Hearthstone World Championships.
Oh, really?
In that it's going to be somewhat like Dota 2 and what they've adopted for the Heroes of the Storm one, where there's going to be a couple of majors and then BlizzCon. So it was it was a Go-To Gamers report based on, they talked to Neilio, and Neilio said that one of the Blizzard devs told him that in 2016 there will be more than one major event. This year we only had BlizzCon, but next year there will be more. So that's sort of like, yeah,
that would be cool.
So that's awesome. Hopefully a lot to look forward to.
I did hear rumors. I did hear rumors of them. There's a big tournament coming up. I forget which one it is, but it's going back to Last Hero Standing. The one that's going back to Last Hero Standing. I know that Seat Story Cup did that. I really hope they don't go back to Last Hero Standing.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't like that format at all.
It's I definitely think I think Conquest is more crowd friendly, but I think Last Hero Standing with bans I think is fine. Like as long as you have that ban, it's fine.
I think Blizzard will avoid bans at all costs. That just kind of goes against what.
Definitely, but I'd be interested to see if they have like a third format ready to go or something. It'd be.
Yeah, every time I see a Last Hero Standing format and then one person just goes 3-0 or 5-0 with the deck, I'm like,
and it's
so
not
stupid.
It's not fun to watch. I do agree with that. Like I don't really like. I don't mind Last Hero Standing versus Conquest. Like I prefer Conquest, but that's just purely from like a viewer standpoint. Yeah, it's just more fun.
And then
if
you add in bans, you wind up getting, like. People have said this before. This is not an original thought, but like you get people who like Kibler, who he gets priest banned because people don't want him playing priest because that's what he plays most, and that's just like, well, why do I want to watch Kibler? If I can't watch him play, that would be like him showing up to the Pro Tour and then them saying, all right, you can't play red, green, or white. Now go.
He's known in Magic to be a red, green, and white player. For those who don't know,
that's sort of like that comes down to, I think that sort of crowd expectation sort of has a negative impact on the esports side of things. In that, if you're expecting a player to play something that goes against like what might necessarily be the best in the meta, which is sort of a little bit what happened this year with Conquest. In that there was a feeling in the community sort of towards the middle of the year that everyone just brings Patron and Druid and shit like that. That everyone brings the same decks because they're consistent. And obviously you're bringing the same decks because, or it seems like everyone's bringing the same decks because you're only bringing 3 decks as opposed to bringing 5 decks.
Right.
Sure.
And so that's sort of like, I think King of the Hill is better for diversity because you're playing more decks.
Yeah, the Archon Team League did a really good job of that, where you have a total of 6 decks brought because none of the team members could select a class that had already been played. So you got to see stuff like priest versus shaman,
exactly,
and
it's
like rogue versus whatever,
and some maybe some sort of like hybrid of the 2 formats or something might be better. Something where you have more decks, but you can't just steamroll someone with 1 deck. I don't know. Something like
all right, we can't post this episode, right? Because Matt and I have agreed on way too many things. So, like, we can't let this get out.
That you guys are agreeing.
All right. Fuck you, Jeremy. Buy a computer.
Yeah.
Yeah. For those of you playing at home,
Move to a country with a real president where people know who he is.
He records podcasts on his fucking phone. I mean, what the hell?
There's so much salt. I love it.
There you go. There's your weekly salt.
All right, good deal. That'll work.
Oh man, this show's so.
Brad, you're bad at arena.
Terrible.
Ooh.
Oh, I don't think you're very good.
Mike, you're
Thanks.
a super casual.
Hey, come on.
Yeah. Where's that legend card back, Mike?
That was uncalled for. Man.
Was it?
It was.
You said
remember,
Errie statue is good. You suck.
What? Screw you. Errie statue is great. I'm calling it right here, right now. Errie statue is going to see a lot of play. That's like,
Yeah.
it's up there, man.
I'm telling you, handlock. It's gonna be so
All right.
big. It's gonna be huge. Does anyone know that reference?
No, not
Yes.
at all.
Please. No, it was Trump.
Donald Trump. It's gonna be huge.
Oh, okay. You can tell how much I care about the election cycle right now.
You live in California. You guys elect like bodybuilders and freaking actors as your governor, so you don't
I'm
really
actually,
count.
the funniest part about that statement is I live like 1,000 miles from the state of California. But you would not be too inaccurate to say that I live in a state that is similar to the state of California. It's very much
I
so.
thought you
almost
lived
the
in
state of
California. Do you not live in California?
No, I live in Idaho.
Where do you live?
Middle of nowhere, Idaho.
Oh my God! Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Why did
Yeah.
I think you live in California?
I don't know. Too many people over there in California. I like
Wow.
Idaho better.
My God, my world has just been turned upside down.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, going on a little tangent. Matt, you embarrassed me when I went to Outback Steakhouse the other day.
Wow.
All right. So for listeners,
He ordered koala and they didn't serve it.
You don't have Vegemite? What is this place?
I asked her for drop bear and they said duff. No. So I'm looking at the beer menu. Okay, so, all right, we'll preface this. What is it, like maybe 10 episodes ago, we went on and on about Foster's beer.
Oh, dude, that wasn't 10. That was like 4 weeks ago.
Okay, whatever. It felt like an eternity ago. And Matt goes on and on. Oh, no, I've never heard of Foster's because the slogan is it's Australian for beer. And so I'm like, yeah, have you ever had Foster's? And Matt goes, no, I've never heard of that. It's not made here. Damn it. Either Outback Steakhouse is lying to me or you are, Matt. It says it's made in Australia.
Well, dude, I've been to a few pubs. I've drunk a decent my fair share of beer in my time, but I have never seen a Foster's beer. I've never drunk a Foster's beer, but that's like an American Australian fucking.
I don't know, man.
Place. I mean, I feel like they would buy into the stereotype.
It's like fortune
It's
cookies.
There were probably kangaroos and shit as well. I mean,
all I
It's
know
like
is
fortune cookies.
all I know is I go to Outback Steakhouse for authentic Australian cuisine.
man, is that
So
how it's
authentic.
marketed? Is that how it's marketed? Authentic
No.
Australian cuisine.
The
Well,
blooming onion.
yeah,
Yeah.
the
You have a blooming onion at
the
every game.
blooming onions. I feel like that's like bread for you guys, like fried onions.
Onions.
What is Outback slogan? No rules, just right. Just like that.
Oh, wait, so back to the beer conversation. Does Australia? Do you guys have like a big beer scene? Like, I don't know if the other state. I think Atlanta is kind of blowing up
Yeah,
with.
it is.
There's tons of these little like local breweries
Microbreweries,
that are.
Microbrews and stuff. Yeah, we have a
Yeah.
few. There are a few big ones, and then like I think James Squire is one of the bigger ones in terms of it's like countrywide. And then there's a bunch of microbrews going on at the moment. A couple of them like are made pretty close to where I used to live, and they're fantastic. Shout out.
Yeah,
to,
I feel like 5 years ago I could drink a PBR and no one would make fun of me. But now if you try and drink a PBR, people are like, "What? You're not drinking so and so tap from like so blah 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 blah."
I think it's a fad. Just like, what was it, like 10 years ago? Like everyone had a coffee shop, or at least in Atlanta, it was that way.
Yeah,
Like it wasn't
that's why
Starbucks.
I just avoid beer altogether, and I go straight whiskey.
Ooh,
Whiskey's the
you're
best.
a liquor guy.
Shout out to Atomic Pale Ale. If anyone from Atomic Pale Ale is listening, I'm open to sponsorship deals.
I'm about to say
your Pale Ale.
Yeah.
Hey, if you get a sponsor from them, I'll take a sponsorship from Bullet Bourbon.
Oh yes.
If any of you guys know, I've had a grand total of 3 glasses of that during this recording. So
Jesus
more
Christ,
Bullet, please.
I wasn't going to talk about this on the show, but since you brought it up, and we brought up at work today, because I work with one of the guys I went to BlizzCon with. Thursday, at the day before BlizzCon, we went to the Angry Chicken hangout at the bowling alley.
Oh yeah,
and we had pre-gamed a little bit, but no one was drunk or anything. And I had gotten my buddy Corey just toasted on Tuesday night because it was just me and him there at this, like, it was cool. It was a cool Irish pub, but I heard it got really crazy later in the week. But just got him toasted. And I think he didn't eat very much that day. I had food, so I was like, whatever. The bartender's looking at him like, the hell's wrong with that guy? And I'm like, I don't know. So Thursday we went to the bowling alley to the Angry Chicken event, and so I see like Dills and Garrett and Jocelyn over there. And I was just waiting. They were talking to people. I didn't want to interrupt them. There was their listeners there, so I'm not going to be that guy. So I'm just hanging out waiting for things to chill out. And I had been bugging my 2 buddies about, hey, we need the first shot of the night. And that's the joke, is it's always the first shot of the night. Even if you've had a shot, hey, I don't remember us having a shot. Let's have the first shot of the night. So anyway, goes on and on. We get a couple pictures and we shared shots. Well, I didn't eat very much that day. So I'm getting in trouble. So I keep going, hey, let's get some shots. Let's get some shots. So Corey looks at Antoine, is like, just go buy this asshole shot. So Corey goes up and buys a double shot of Bullet, and I'm gone already. So I'm thinking that, oh yeah, you've got shots too. And I'm like, my first question was, where are your shots? And I said, they told me we already drank it. I'm like, oh, okay. So about 5 minutes after that, I don't remember anything.
Wait, so who shoots Bullet? Like, that's a sipping whiskey.
I know. It's good. I like it.
Yeah, it's really good, but that's like guzzling a Dr. Pepper. Like, you're supposed to drink a Dr. Pepper.
So, needless to say, about 10 minutes after that, I don't remember anything. I rolled back to the hotel. I kept yelling at them, no, please, I'm going to get a DUI. The joke is I'm in a wheelchair and I'll get a DUI. Okay, it's funny when you're there at the moment.
Yeah, no, I can see it being funny in the moment.
Yeah.
I listened to the Angry Chicken, and they were talking about this crazy dude in a wheelchair was like screaming DRC confirmed at us. I don't know what he was talking about.
Yeah. So
I'm drunk. DRC confirmed.
You should have screamed at it. Yeah, just like, yeah, see, motherfuckers.
Yeah. So the next morning I woke up and they woke up and I was like, I don't remember last night. Did I embarrass myself in front of those guys? And so, they listened to like the instance. They know who Deals are. They're both big Warcraft players. And they said, no, we didn't let you talk to anyone. I said, thank you. Thank you so much for not letting me embarrass myself. So to the DRC crew, I don't think I was a belligerent or anything, but good party, good times. I don't remember half of it, but I had a good time.
The moral of the story is, if Mike yelled obscenities at you, please don't stop listening to the show. He likes you. Right. He just likes Bullet more.
Yeah. I did notice, and I've noticed before, but they kept saying, if I'm talking to someone and I get drunk, I keep saying, hey, even if I know if I don't have eye contact, even if I know you're listening to me, I don't think you're listening to me. So I go, hey, and I'll stick my arm out. I'll have to put this video. Corey recorded me going, hey.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll put that on Twitter. That was pretty funny. Anyway, so that was BlizzCon story.
My Twitter dream came true this week though.
What'd you do?
I have achieved the ultimate social media dream of having my Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter be the same handle.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
I had like my Twitch is /Mooshman, my YouTube is /Mooshman, and for ages my Twitter has just been @Matt_Mooshu. And I had the domain, I had the @Mooshman, but it was from a different account that I had like years ago. You look at it and it's like one follower and shit like that. It's sort of like I used this account for 5 minutes or something and then just lost it. And I finally got through the process of unlocking, because I had to unlock the email account, which is bound to another email account I had. And I had to unlock that, and that I figured that all out earlier this week. So I'm very happy. I have @Mooshuman across everything now, so I can continue with my life.
Nice.
The synergy.
The Twitter dream. Getting the fucking handle that you want.
Am I the only DRC member who doesn't have a Twitter account?
Yes.
I was looking for you the other day on Twitter. I remember. I was like, Jeremy, I'm sure he had it at one stage.
I don't.
No, I don't.
But it was Facebook you messaged me on, wasn't it? That one time about like
yes, it was. Group. Yeah, you were in that. Like I actually dropped out of that group. The guy
so did I.
the guy who runs that group is like super militant.
What group is this?
It's a group on. It's a group on Facebook, like a Hearthstone group. And this was back when I was just like kind of listening to the show. And then this dude was like Matt Hill, and he was like posting on this Facebook group and commenting. And I was like, hey, I know you. You're a cool guy, blah, blah, blah.
Little did he know.
Yeah, exactly. That I was his arch nemesis. But no, this group, like, basically what happened was they like posted a bunch of they would go through and delete individual comments, not for any specific reason other than like they just don't agree with your comment, like not because it was belligerent, not because of. And then I like messaged the guy and he was like, oh no, if I don't like your stuff, like I reserve the right to remove it. I'm like, okay, peace.
So is it just like
it's not right?
Was it like Errie Statue's going to be really good, and he's like, nope.
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
Well, it wasn't that specifically, but basically there were spoilers coming out about Blackrock Mountain, I think it was.
Okay.
And so like a few people were going through and posting like cards, and then they were discussing the individual cards, and like I had posted a card and I was like, hey, I think this card will be pretty cool, blah, blah, blah. And like, he just went through and deleted everyone's threads and was like, I'm going to post about all of these cards later. And it's like,
oh, that's
I can sort of understand if it's like a spoiler thing. Like it's sort of a little bit hard to cover spoilers on Facebook, whereas you go to like Liquid Hearth and things like that, where they like the winner of so-and-so event, or the BRF cards spoiled and shit like this. So if you don't want to know, you don't have to. I don't know. It was and basically like me and the admin had like an at-length conversation. And I was like, so you're telling me that if I post something that you don't agree with, that you can remove it, like not based on the merit of the post and not based on like whether or not the post is rude to another person.
Right. That makes sense.
Like, one of the rules that he put on there was I will delete posts if I don't like them. And then he like confirmed with me in a messaging, like, yeah, if I don't like your post, I'll just delete it.
Cool.
I'm like, well, that's weird.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, it's sort of I sort of stepped away from a lot of those like community pages, because it's not so much that I don't like the community, I don't like the discussion that goes on, because it's always like what there's such, I guess, questions that if any of them spent like 5 minutes or less than 5 minutes, if they type their question into Google, they would find their answer. That's exactly sort of like people who want help from other people but aren't ready to help themselves, sort of thing. That's sort of the mentality in like a lot of these pages, and that's sort of like what annoys me. I'm
they're like, what's a good list for Secret Paladin?
Exactly. That shits me off to no end. Well, it's just like, if you're discussing like a tech or something, that's fine. Because text like somewhat ambiguous, but it's like, what's a good list for, as you say, superpower? It's just like die in a fucking fire. Right. It's 2015 using Facebook. Plug it into Google. Fuck me.
I guess like
you're already on the internet. Right. Just open a new page. Exactly. It should be your homepage.
I feel like the difference is, hey, I found this deck list. Let's talk about how it works. What's the optimal way to play it? Right?
That's 100%. That is so much better. Yeah, but like asking those stupid fucking questions, do my work for me. It's just like, here, have a bullet.
Yeah, just idiots that are like, so does Foster's really come from Australia?
Hey,
whoa,
hey.
Speaking of bullets, shots
fired.
I
take offense to that, sir.
Speaking of bullets, shots fired.
And we're full of puns tonight.
Brad is good at two things: arena and puns.
That's right.
Oh man, that's weird. That's a weird place. We will never do that here at DRC.
Puns?
No puns. Yes, no, but
good. Throwing bullets at people.
No, I can't. I won't promise that.
I reserve much like the inn. I reserve the right to throw bullets at people. That's what a podcast is about. Verbal bullets.
That sounds very violent. It's not very you, Matt. Not very.
We can say whatever we want. Like short of I think so. Well, close to whatever we want.
Okay. All right.
Short of like racism and like, the F word 72 times in a row.
That's a lot.
That's probably not cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. We have the explicit tag on iTunes, don't we?
We do.
Well, yeah, but still, like that would get annoying. That would probably lose us subscribers.
Maybe.
What?
Oh, I keep forgetting to do this, so I'm going to interrupt and do this real quick. Speaking of Twitter, I have not done the giveaway for this month yet. I just keep forgetting to say who it is. So, Zach Arnault. I hope I spelled that right. ARN.
Yay, Zach.
AULT. You get a Hearthstone gift card. So I'm going to see.
You're my favorite person, Zach.
What did he say to us? Did he say
no? No. This was not an email. This was just the randomly given away. So you get that by just following us on YouTube or Twitter. Search handle Death Rattle Crew or writing into us at mail@deathrattlecrew.com. That is 5 entries instead of just 1 for the follow.
Hey, so when are you going to post a really when and where are you going to post a super embarrassing video of me?
Yes. So we do have footage of the legend formerly known as Jeremy as singing and performing. It really is a performance.
There's also a guest star that shows up about halfway through.
It's fantastic. I'm gonna put that on Twitter and I'll play it at for the audio only listeners. I'll put it at the end of this podcast.
Good.
So listen to it.
If you're
what song did you?
If you're listening, I went with Timber because that way I don't have to sing as high pitched the whole time, and I get to display my rap ability,
which is pretty good.
It's interesting to note. It's interesting to note that I've only heard this song about 3 times in the past, and I listened to it once today before I recorded the video. So I didn't know any of the words to the song other than the chorus, it's going down, I'm yelling timber, and like all that.
Yeah.
I didn't know the rap part at all. And so you'll see me like glancing down periodically, like at a piece of paper, but that doesn't really work well with raps. And I also get the verses mixed up really bad because, I don't listen to Keisha, so I don't
heresy.
know.
Heresy.
Yeah. But it was fun. I got out of breath because I was dancing. You got to get into it. Otherwise, what's the point?
No, you can't.
So,
exactly.
But if you're listening to an audio only version of this, you're literally getting maybe 10% of the entertainment value.
Oh yeah.
So I'm sorry, I can't sing very well.
Don't be modest. Do not be modest, sir.
No, it's not good. I blame Fel Reaver.
Blame Fel Reaver.
Oh,
poor guy, he's always taking the rap.
Oh, so much salt. I need some water.
So when are you gonna? Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No,
I was just gonna say, when are we gonna get the next song going? Now that's the real question.
Yeah,
we gotta keep this going.
Yeah. Let's end the podcast by quickly talking about what's the next challenge going to be. What do we want it to be? We've kind of talked about it a little bit
December,
already,
right?
Yeah. So, okay. Do we want it to be ranks again? Do we want to do an arena run instead? What do you guys think? Or is it going to be play a deck with this for 100 games? And
I think whatever it is, it needs to fit into. We don't have that. Can't be the only thing we play all month. I agree.
I think something probably arena themed. But I think if we just tease it this week and then actually announce what we're going to do next week and then do it in December, then we'll be laughing.
Okay.
Let's tease it this week. Next week we'll have like a full-blown discussion, or the week after next we'll have a full-blown discussion where we kind of hash out what we want to do, right?
Okay.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Sure.
So, can we talk about punishments now?
Oh, man.
Do we want to go and do that before we even start? All right, we'll talk about what the terms are next week. What is the punishing going to be for the person that loses? Can we do that this week? Death in a ditch?
Death? Oh,
do they not even get a ditch?
Oh, God. I'm not playing. I'm leaving the podcast.
Oh.
I don't want to die.
Shit, my odds are so much worse now.
It's a 1 in 4. Not that bad.
Well, now it's 1 in 3. Jeremy's gone.
Oh man. Yeah. What can it be?
I think something about like a average win rate over X amount of arena runs, and have stipulations like you can't play the same class twice and that sort of thing.
Okay.
All right, so we're probably going to go with arena runs.
All right, I think that's pretty safe.
And you said the average over 3. That's
pretty good.
That's like a super casual way to do it, but at least 3.
Okay.
And then are we going to just do whoever loses again?
How about the winner gets to pick the punishment this time?
Ooh,
that's
I don't know.
That's
pretty loaded because Matt's evil.
Well, right,
and I'm a pretty nice guy.
Like we could pick like a category, like sing a song,
don't lose,
or there you go.
Well, Matt will win.
Let me win and don't lose.
Matt will win and then tell Mike that he has to drink an entire bottle of Bullet during an episode.
Oh, geez, I die.
And then
I go to the hospital.
Then he'll just be like, "No, man, Errie statue is the best fucking card on the planet.
Hey,
it's so good."
I don't know if I like that idea.
I'm on Mike's side on this. The Errie statue's good.
I'm telling you.
I think it is. I'm just messing with you guys. But no, we do need to come up with a punishment before giving it to one person is asking for trouble.
All right, fair enough. I did like singing songs. Like like that went over really well, and it's really easy to just keep doing something like that.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking if somebody tied, I would suggest last time that they had to do a duet, like
what?
Like do like Aladdin or something. Like I could show you the world.
We let the listeners. What if? All right, here we go.
There you go.
We get the listeners involved. You guys pick a song that the bottom 2 have to sing together.
Ooh.
Okay.
Like a duet. I like that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, so that'd be a perfect way to get emails. People would be like, make them sing this.
Here's what we'll do. So bottom 2, you'll sing it and record it, but don't record the music in it. So you can have headphones in so you hear the music so you're on time and all that, but the recording will just be your vocals. I'll splice it into the music.
Okay.
From there.
Or we could get like something going where someone sings, if it's a duet, someone sings one part, listens to it, and then sings over it. Like they're
one person is Aladdin, one person is Jasmine.
Exactly. Or it'll be like I don't know.
Don't you dare close your eyes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited for it now. I'm ready to be Aladdin or Jasmine. Right. I'm fine with either one.
All right, so that'll be it, listeners. What's the punishment going to be? What
song are we singing?
Yeah, you can let us know. I'll put a post on Twitter. You can reply to that, or just write to us at Death Rattle Crew, or write an email, mail at Death Rattle Crew. Put in the subject line, punishment. I don't know. That's good. That's a good subject.
That seems really dominatrix.
It does. I could
punishment.
really get trolled with this. I have a feeling.
I like it.
No nudie pics, please. Unless I don't know.
Unless it's Avery.
Unless it's Avery, exactly. We never got our Avery topless pic. RIP.
Hey, I followed through on what I promised.
You did. That's why you're not dead in a ditch, I guess.
Right.
I don't know. Avery, we need a topless pic, man. Come on. I don't know. Where did that idea come up from anyway? Matt?
Maybe something that a fever dream or something. I don't know.
Yes. That was a long time ago too.
Indeed.
Like 8 weeks.
Such a long time.
Yeah. A whole 2 months. I don't remember. Anyway. All right. So that is episode 42. Don't forget you can follow us on Twitter and YouTube. Just search Death Rattle Crew or write into us at mail@deathrattlecrew.com. If you follow us or write in, those are entries into our giveaways every month. You can win just like Zach did this month. Zach, I'll be sending you an email with the gift card information. And don't forget to write into us about what the punishment is going to be. And, why not? Stipulations for how the arenas will work. Maybe you can only have one of any card type or one of a card in the deck, or you can only play so many classes, whatever it might be. Write in, let us know. We'd love to hear it. So, rest of Death Rattle Crew, I am Tac2, joined by Bradford Lee, the legend formerly known as Jeremy, and Mushu, and we will see you next week.
Peace.
Bye.
I'm going to take a shit.
You've got to leave that in.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Matt.
He's gone. He's gone. He's just like gone. I gotta take a shit. Gone.
It was serious.
He's like, wait. No wonder he hasn't said anything in the last 3 minutes. He just can't wait.
He's probably been sitting there sweating, oh my god.
Damn it! We should have made it go longer.
See. And here's the thing. If he had been podcasting on his phone, he could have been taking a shit the whole time.
So that's what you do, Jeremy? Or are you just sitting on the can?
Yeah, that's what.
Absolutely. Why not? That's why. Why do you think I asked if this episode was going to be on video?
Oh, mine. Oh, gosh. Never mind. Maybe we shouldn't do video.
I'm just going to see a whitewashed wall behind Jeremy most of the time. Random flushes.